Chapter 3290. The call was quickly connected, and the bespectacled man went straight to the point and asked, "Captain, I'm from the 3rd team. We caught 2 suspicious armed men at the border. They are both Chinese. They said that they were sent by the country to carry out a special mission." "Special mission? Did you throw your brain in the bathroom today? Can you believe their words?" The captain stared at him. "What country's people? If they are from the country on a special mission, how can I not know? If Su Yun and his men had chased them from here, they would have been notified. But no one knew that Su Yun and his men had chased them to Myanmar. Su Yun didn't think too much about it, so he didn't inform Wan Guangxiao in advance. This was a bit awkward. "Captain, I am Yen Long," Su Yun shouted into the phone. The man said reluctantly, "He said he is Yen Long. He said you know him." "So I know Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Shi Xiaolong, Stallone, and Pang Long who sang 2 Bs. The captain was in a bad mood. He didn't look like a good-tempered person. Even if he is a living dragon, you have to tie him up today. Because the captain's voice was loud, everyone heard the roar from the satellite phone. Lin Gu could not help but say, "Well, Captain, can't you show some respect to the singer? Although she's a B-lister, that's still her famous song. It's called 2 Butterflies, not 2 Bees. 2 Bees was sung by a few A-listers." At this time, the captain had hung up the phone. The man took a deep breath and turned to stare at Lin Gu. "Do you think you are the only one who knows music? Do you think you are the only one who knows music? Do you think you are the only one who knows 2 Butterflies? Do you think you are the only one who knows Pang Long? Do you think you are the only one who knows 2 Bees?" Lin Gu waved his hand. "I just want to give you some common sense. You heard the phone call just now. What Yen Long or Yen Long? Our captain doesn't know him at all." The man said, "Now you have nothing to say, right? What is your purpose? Speak. If you don't tell us the truth, we'll shoot you." Lin Gu got angry whenever he talked to them, so he simply turned his head and ignored them. Su Yun felt a little helpless. He didn't think that the commander's memory would be so bad. "Okay, I'll tell you everything. We found a long-lost national treasure in our country. Then, the national treasure was brought to the Golden Triangle by a mercenary called Stinging Ant and his men. When the 3 of them heard the beginning of the story, they were stunned. Then we were lured to the Philippines. We caught them, but found that they didn't have the item with them. So we went all the way to the Golden Triangle to look for it." Su Yun continued, "We also ran into trouble in the Golden Triangle. As I said just now, the 4 dogs wanted to rob us, but we killed them. Then, we came here after we got the item. We wanted to find our own people to solve the problem. If your story is more exciting, it can be made into a movie. You have such a rich imagination. Why don't you become a screenwriter and save the declining trend of domestic movies and television dramas? Don't make up stories with us. What exactly is inside these 2 wooden boxes? Open them. It's not like you don't know the laws of Hua Xia. Drug trafficking is an unforgivable act. Don't justify your actions anymore. You'd better cooperate. Otherwise, we have the right to kill you on the spot." Lin Gu quickly waved his hand. Okay. I'll cooperate. I'll open the box. You can see how much is inside. See if it's enough for the death penalty. It's not too late for you to execute it immediately." The 3 of them held their guns and didn't dare to be negligent at all. The other 4 people who were still lurking didn't make a sound. They stared at the situation motionlessly. If there were any abnormalities, they would pull the trigger immediately. Lin Gu neatly opened the wooden box, and the 2 beast heads were completely exposed to the air. Lin Gu pointed at the beast heads inside and said, "Take a look. See how many years this thing should sentence us to." When the 3 of them saw the beast heads for the first time, they obviously hesitated. It was more or less unbelievable. They all had the same doubts in their hearts. It must be fake. It's fine if you don't believe us, but you absolutely can't not believe this thing. Su Yun, we'll cooperate with whatever you want to do to us. After you bring us back, we'll talk about it slowly. You can take your time to interrogate us. For the sake of the beast-head's safety, Su Yun would definitely not resist. Moreover, he understood the soldiers of the border anti-drug team very well. So, whatever they did, Su Yun wouldn't hold it against them. At this time, the three of them were slightly less against the two of them. Although it couldn't be said that they trusted them, at least they weren't as suspicious as before. The other four brothers have waited long enough. Let them come out. Don't just lie there. There are poisonous bugs everywhere. Su Yun said, if you're here to ambush the armed drug traffickers with clues, then don't wait any longer. This time, the anti-drug team brothers were really surprised. They didn't expect Su Yun to be able to detect the other four people. That's right. You really shouldn't wait. If you have information about Jiwanwa's goods, then don't wait even more. We really did encounter a bunch of people on the way and were defeated. They were led by Chihuahua's son, Lin Gu said. At this time, the anti-drug team brothers had no choice but to believe the two of them. Let's go. Let's bring them back first. The cultured man said, you two take the thing and the people back. I'll continue to wait here for a while. If the target doesn't appear in 3 hours, then we're done for today. You won't be able to wait for 8 hours. We'll really cripple them. Lin Gu shook his head helplessly. Even so, as members of the anti-drug team, they didn't dare to trust two strangers so easily. So, they had no choice but to stay. The two of them nodded in agreement. After all, this was a serious matter. They didn't know how to distinguish the beast heads. What if it was real? This was a national treasure. Along the way, Su Yun and Lin Ji's hands were cuffed behind their backs. They were forced into the car by the anti-drug team brothers with guns pointed at them. After a bumpy ride, they finally arrived at the border anti-drug team headquarters. When the two of them got out of the car, it was already close to noon. Su Yun thought to himself that when he saw the captain, he would definitely give him a good scolding. Look at how forgetful he was. Su Yun hadn't been here for a few years and he had already forgotten about him. Without waiting for Su Yun to say anything, the two anti-drug team brothers directly brought the two of them to the captain's office. When they arrived at the door, one of them watched the two of them while the other took the beast heads and went in to report. After the report, the captain was shocked. He quickly asked someone to bring Su Yun and Lin Gu in. He really wanted to see who this Yen Long was. Su Yun and Lin Gu finally entered the room. Su Yun was just about to complain, but he realized that the captain was no longer the captain of the past. He couldn't help but be stunned. Because when he saw the captain a few years ago, the captain's body was still very healthy. At that time, he was only in his 50s. He couldn't have retired now, right? The captain said that he wouldn't retire even if he was beaten to death. Even if he stayed here, he would work until the day he couldn't walk anymore. You are Yen Long? The captain saw that Su Yun was looking at him blankly, so he took the initiative to greet him. You are. Su Yun suddenly didn't know what to say. The captain of the anti-drug team? Then, the previous one. You mean our Captain Lu knows you? The captain of the anti-drug team was also stunned. You know Lu Ming? Su Yun really didn't know the previous captain's name. I don't know what the captain's name is, but I came here 5 years ago. The captain wasn't you. I haven't seen you before. 5 years ago, I came here to work for a period of time. 5 years ago, Lu Ming was working here. I came here half a year ago. My name is Chan Beiyuan. Captain Chen said, did you do something here 5 years ago? Yes. Su Yun nodded. Chan Beiyuan frowned. If what Su Yun said was true, then the brothers he knew from the narcotic squad 5 years ago had all left the narcotic squad due to injuries or deaths. They had left the front lines. There was no way to find someone to prove it. Su Yun suddenly said, is Brother Huazi still in the armory? I know him very well. Huazi. Zhao Yehua. Chan Beiyuan said, you know him? Yes, I know him. Su Yun nodded. Chan Beiyuan's face also showed a trace of a smile. He's still here. He's doing well. I'll inform him to come over now. Chapter 3291. Captain Chen, let me go, Su Yun said. If you can trust me. Chen Beiyuan nodded. Then give me a reason to trust you. You've always said that you work for the country. Tell me, who do you work for? If you can tell me and I can verify it, I will believe you. Otherwise, even if I trust you, I won't let you go to our armory so easily. I can only let Huazi come here. I work for Wan Guangxiao, Su Yun said. Previously, the captain of the anti-narcotics team had a very good relationship with our chief. Wan Guangxiao's man? Chen Beiyuan was stunned. Say it again. Who do you work for? Chief Wan? Yes. Su Yun said, since you know each other, it'll be easy. You can contact him. He can definitely prove it for me. If you work for Wan Guangxiao, then you don't have to find him to prove it. You can prove it yourself, Chen Beiyuan suddenly said. Su Yun was stunned. He didn't understand what Chen Beiyuan meant. I can prove it myself? Yes. After Chen Beiyuan said that, he suddenly took out a pistol from the drawer. Without saying anything, he aimed at Su Yun and pulled the trigger. All his actions were done in one go. They were quite coherent and there was no sloppiness at all. Naturally, Su Yun wouldn't just sit there and wait for his death. When Chen Beiyuan pulled the trigger, Su Yun had already predicted the trajectory of the shot. He then circled behind Chen Beiyuan and put him in a chokehold. Su Yun didn't stop there. Instead, he pulled the trigger. However, although Chen Beiyuan pulled the trigger, he didn't actually shoot because he didn't have a magazine. Everything happened too suddenly. Su Yun didn't have time to check if Chen Beiyuan had a magazine in his pistol. Thus, he had to make a move. As expected of Chief Wan's man. With your skills, I don't need to ask Chief Wan for confirmation. You've already confirmed your identity. Chen Beiyuan laughed and said, I remember very clearly that when I first met Senior Leader Wan, he said that I lacked training and that if I ran into his men, I wouldn't be able to hurt them even if they were within 3 meters of me. Hearing that Chen Beiyuan believed them, Su Yun realized that it was just a joke. Lin Gu also breathed a sigh of relief. This joke was a little too much. He almost used a knife. If Chen Yuanbei really shot Su Yun, Lin Gu was sure that he would slit Chen Yuanbei's neck immediately. Chen Beiyuan chuckled and said, I didn't believe Senior Leader Wan when he said that. Today, I completely believe him. Su Yun let go of Chen Yuanbei and said awkwardly, Captain Chen, I'm just joking. I'm sorry, I was a little too harsh just now. I hope you can forgive me. Don't say that. If you were really harsh, I would have lost my life. Ha ha ha. Chen Beiyuan said, I'll take you to the armory to see Huazi now. I didn't expect you to be one of us. Su Yun also smiled and said, Thank you for your trust, Captain Chen. Senior Leader Wan arranges people to come here every year to train us, help us with difficult tasks, and deal with difficult people. We can't be more grateful. Chen Beiyuan left as soon as he said that and directly led the way. His subordinates were still a little worried, but Chen Yuanbei waved his hand and told them to do what they were supposed to do. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan trusted Su Yun completely. He didn't doubt him at all. That was why he didn't hesitate to take Su Yun to see Huazi. It had been at least 5 or 6 years since Su Yun last came here. In these 5 or 6 years, Huazi had aged a lot. People aged because of their mood. Once a person's mood was bad, they would age easily. Just as Huazi was sorting out the military statistics, Chen Beiyuan came with Su Yun and Lin Gu. Huazi could hear Chen Beiyuan's footsteps and voice, so he didn't raise his head and said, Captain Chen, why are you looking for me? What do you need? Or is there a shortage of military equipment? If there is a shortage, let me prepare in advance. This concerns the lives of my brothers. Huazi, don't be busy. Look who's here. Chen Beiyuan smiled and said. Huazi put down his work and raised his head. He was really curious about who would come to see him. Who is it? Brother Huazi, it's me. Su Yun smiled and said. Huazi was stunned. The joy on his face instantly gushed out. It was the kind of joy that came from seeing a family member. How could it be you? Huazi's voice was full of disbelief. He really hadn't seen Su Yun for a long time. Don't blame me for not knowing how to talk. I haven't seen you for so many years. I thought something had happened to you. When Officer Wan came last year, I wanted to ask you several times but didn't dare to. I was afraid that something had really happened to you. If I asked, it would hurt him. Brother Huazi, I'm lucky. What could happen to me? Su Yun laughed. You, on the other hand, why do you look so much older? I don't know how to talk, so don't blame me for being direct. You're in charge of the military equipment. You shouldn't have too much pressure, right? Huazi smiled bitterly. There's no pressure. It's pretty good. Su Yun glanced at Huazi. Then why do you look so haggard? It's like you haven't slept for many days. I can't sleep. Huazi smiled bitterly. These few days after the accident, I really couldn't sleep. When I closed my eyes, I thought of the boss. When I closed my eyes, I thought of the brothers who had gone through thick and thin with me. Su Yun frowned. He realized that something must have happened. Otherwise, Huazi wouldn't say something like that. Brother Huazi, what happened? Su Yun asked carefully. Huazi lowered his head. I don't have the face to say. The boss and those brothers who fought with me all sacrificed themselves in the end. I'm the only one left. I'm the only one left. Su Yun took a deep breath. These words really made Su Yun a little unbelievable. He didn't dare to accept it. How could it be? How could they all be sacrificed? No wonder Su Yun didn't see any of his acquaintances. It turned out that all the previous people had sacrificed themselves. In these 5 years, they left one after another. One after another, they went to a world that they could never return to. Even the captain went with them. The former captain got into trouble 7 days ago. Chen Beiyuan said painfully, because the guy he had to face in that mission was a bastard he was too familiar with. In order to catch that bastard, he personally led the team. But he didn't expect that when they subdued the bastard secretly detonated the explosives on his body. Huazi closed his eyes. When he heard this, he couldn't help but cry. But the anti-narcotic soldiers at the border were people who shed blood but not tears, so he didn't let his tears fall. No one expected such an outcome. Chen Beiyuan shook his head helplessly. Huazi hasn't slept much for a week because of this. He's been working here, working all the time. He doesn't listen to anyone. I really can't sleep. Captain Chen, don't worry about me. Huazi smiled. Don't worry about you? Let you ruin your own body like this? Chen Beiyuan said, I'm telling you, Huazi, there's no way. Since your friend is here today, I'll make this clear to you. From tonight onwards, you're going to sleep. This is an order. Huazi nodded and agreed. Of course. Brother Huazi, you'd better listen to Captain Chen. Su Yun said, if you get sick because of this, it's really not worth it. I believe that the brothers in the underworld wouldn't want to see you like this. Okay, kid, don't lecture me. I know what I'm doing. Huazi said, I'll adjust myself. Why are you here all of a sudden? Why didn't anyone inform you? Is Senior Leader Wan here? There's no document from above. Chen Beiyuan shook his head helplessly. Let him explain it to you slowly. If he didn't say that he knew you and proved that he was Officer Wan's man, I would have killed him. This brat was captured by our men. Huazi was confused. He obviously couldn't understand this. Chapter 3292. It's a long story. It's quite complicated. Su Yun raised his voice and said, I took this route because I thought I was familiar with the people in our border anti-narcotics team. But I didn't expect everything to change. Huazi laughed and tried to make himself look very optimistic again. There's nothing we can do about it. Who asked us to be in this line of work? Since we're in this line of work, this line of work is like this. A team made of iron, a new soldier. Although he said it with a smile, there was a lot of helplessness in it. Perhaps only Huazi himself could understand it. After all his comrades and brothers left, Huazi's loneliness was incomprehensible. It was not something that could be explained with words. "Brother Huazi, you've worked hard," Su Yun said lightly. He went forward and patted Huazi's shoulder. This strong man was much more haggard than he was a few years ago. Everyone had to raise their voice when speaking to Huazi, afraid that he would not be able to hear them and would feel awkward. Su Yun said it casually. Although Huazi did not hear it clearly, he could read Su Yun's lips and read Su Yun's emotions from his expression. Everyone would experience unforgettable pain in their life. But for someone to experience more pain than Huazi, it was probably very rare. "Our old friends are all here. Put down your work and catch up," Chen Beiyuan said. "I'll get someone to prepare a welcome dinner for them." Su Yun glanced at Lin Gu and said to Chen Beiyuan, "Captain Chen, my brother and I would like to trouble you with something. Can you find a place for us to take a bath? We're covered in mud. It's quite uncomfortable. Then get 2 sets of clean clothes from Huazi. What size do you want? I'll get someone to arrange a room for you in the guest house." Chen Beiyuan said, "Take the time to take a bath. Then we'll have dinner together." Only then did Lin Gu regain his senses. His dirty clothes made him feel uncomfortable. When the narcotic squad saw them, they thought that they were bad guys who had been caught. Chen Beiyuan arranged for people to lead Su Yun and Lin Gu to their respective rooms to wash up and change their clothes, while he stood guard in front of the 2 beast heads. He didn't know whether this antique was real or fake, but he believed that Su Yun and the others had risked their lives to protect it. Must be a treasure. "Captain Chen, this thing. How do you think the experts can identify it?" Several members of the narcotics task force also gathered around to watch. Chen Beiyuan shook his head. "I don't know about that, but we're definitely not good enough. We can't tell if it's real or fake. I really can't tell if this thing is real. Can it really be taken out by those people so easily? If it's not true, would they risk their lives to find it? Stop joking, this thing is definitely real. You're talking as if you're an expert. If you really know, why don't you appraise it for me?" The 2 of them disagreed and started arguing. "That's enough, all of you shut up," Chen Beiyuan said. "Do you know how this stuff got out? There were some mercenaries who escaped with the national treasure at the border under our jurisdiction. Those bastards escaped right under our noses. Do you understand?" The few of them instantly quieted down. Chen Beiyuan slammed his palm on the table. "You'd better remember this. If it weren't for Su Yun and the others risking their lives to get the beast heads back, this would be the loss of a national treasure. This responsibility is on us." The commander's words were like one slap after another, ruthlessly slapping them in the face. "What a disgrace. You still have the nerve to argue here after something like this happened? What are you arguing about?" Chen Beiyuan said, "Just because of this incident, we can see that we have a lot of shortcomings. It's our mistake that led to this incident. We have to reflect on it. We have to remember our responsibilities clearly. Do you understand?" If they didn't even know their responsibilities, how could they be members of the Border Narcotics Squad? How many crimes have we let off in the past? Can you think of it now? Do you dare to think about it? Chen Beiyuan rebuked angrily. "If you don't dare to think about it, then shut up. Put the effort of bickering into work. Don't let something like this happen again. It's embarrassing. How can we face the country? How can we face the people?" The deep self-reproach made all of them feel uncomfortable. Hua Xia lit a cigarette by the side. As Chen Beiyuan's voice was very loud, he could hear every word clearly. "Indeed, we have to pay attention to this problem in the future. Not only will drugs enter the country, but we also have to be careful and watch out for our belongings being taken out by people with ulterior motives. That's why all of you listen up. You have to be more serious and careful in your work in the future." Chen Beiyuan said, "You must not lose any members of the Border Narcotics Squad again." "Yes." At this time, Su Yun and Lin Gu had also finished showering. When they heard Chen Beiyuan's lecture, they smiled and walked forward. Captain Chen, you can't blame them. The opponent is too cunning. Su Yun said, the leader of the mercenaries is called Stinging Ant. You must have heard of him. Everyone in the narcotics squad at the border had heard of the Sting Ant. Even if Stinging Ant hadn't been in the Golden Triangle for many years, the evil things he had done in the Golden Triangle had never been forgotten. Everyone was silent. The thing was taken out by that guy. I think it's because he's too familiar with the border that he was able to avoid you and escape. If it were someone else, they might not have the ability to do so, Su Yun said. Even if Hua Xia's hearing was bad, he still heard the two words, Stinging Ant. This guy has never failed in his dealings with us, Hua Xia said. Hua Zi said, he's a cunning guy. Some of our brothers were injured by him, and some died because of him. He's too familiar with the Golden Triangle and the border area. It's not easy for us to find him. Chen Beiyuan shook his head. That's not a reason. No matter who it is, we can't let them pass through our line of fire so easily. That's right. Su Yun said, I believe that everyone here has the same idea. Since the guests have interceded for you, I'll let you go today. Chen Beiyuan said, this kind of thing can't happen again. Do you understand? Understood. Everyone nodded. Su Yun was embarrassed. Actually, the responsibility for this is on me. If we had found out about Stinging Ant earlier and controlled them from the beginning, this wouldn't have happened. Things don't just happen because of one reason. Most of the time, it's caused by many factors. Don't try to absolve us of the responsibility. We won't shirk our responsibility, Chen Beiyuan said. Put away your things. Let's go to the cafeteria. There may not be any delicacies in the cafeteria of the border anti-drug team, but our chef is very good. He cooks very well. Even the potatoes taste like pork ribs. You'll definitely be full of praise. I really want to eat roasted potatoes. Su Yun smiled. Captain Chen, I'm a little hungry after hearing what you said. Good. Good. Fill your stomach. If you're not full, Chief Wan will definitely blame me. There's no good food, but you'll definitely be full. Under Chen Beiyuan's lead, everyone went straight to the cafeteria. There were no restaurants in this place. They usually ate in the cafeteria. Although there were no private rooms in the cafeteria, the two tables put together were quite big. With Chen Beiyuan's special arrangement, the chef in the cafeteria cooked a few dishes for Su Yun and the others. He didn't stew them directly. It had to be said that the chef's standard was definitely not worse than the special chef in a 5-star hotel. Although he was from the army's cooking squad, being able to make ordinary dishes taste delicious was definitely not something an ordinary chef could do. Chen Beiyuan also prepared white wine and beer for Su Yun and Lin Gu. The white wine was the ordinary kind that the commoners drank. There was nothing special about it. The beer was also the Yanjing brand yellow label wine. The cheapest kind seemed to be 2 yuan per bottle. However, this didn't affect Su Yun and Lin Ge's satisfaction. It was already good enough to have such a good reception. Chapter 3293. Huazi sat beside Su Yun and gestured for Su Yun to eat more. The conditions here are indeed a little bad. If I knew you were coming in advance, I could have gone to the locals to buy some mountain delicacies. You came too suddenly. In the past, when I came here with Chief Wan, you bought the mountain delicacies from the locals? Su Yun joked. I thought you treated the chief differently. Chief Wan is a very principled person. If we treated him differently, he would definitely fall out with us, Huazi said. I'm just joking with you. Brother Huazi, don't take it seriously, Su Yun quickly said. Chen Beiyuan also grinned. Huazi is so serious about everything. He even took your joke seriously. I'm not joking. Huazi still said seriously. In the past, the captain personally told Senior Chief Wan that those mountain delicacies were bought from the local villagers, and the money was paid by the captain himself. It was definitely not the government's money. It was all paid by the captain himself, which made Senior Chief Wan happy. "You're blaming me for not paying for the mountain delicacies for these two brothers." Chan Beiyuan deliberately shook his head. "That makes me lose face." Huazi was amused by Chan Beiyuan. "You know that's not what I meant. Captain Chen, can you not be so annoying? Be more sincere and less scheming." "Hey, let me tell you. I'm not a stingy person. Just now, I asked Little Wang to go to the locals. When they heard that the two heroes were coming, they promised to make us some green leaf banquet and send it over." Huazi was stunned. "You're serious?" "Of course. Although Chef Zhang's culinary skills are very good, how can we not eat something special when friends come from afar?" Chen Beiyuan said. "How is it? I didn't embarrass you, right? After all, this is an old friend of yours. How can I not take it seriously?" "Captain Chen, you're too kind." Huazi's gratitude came from the bottom of his heart. Not long after, a fellow villager really did deliver the local specialties. Su Yun and Lin Gu almost drooled when they saw it. It was the legendary camellia chicken. Chen Beiyuan tore off a drumstick with each hand, and the chicken fat oozed out from the gaps. He gave one drumstick to Su Yun and the other to Lin Gu, making the two customers feel embarrassed. "If the two of you are still being polite here, then you are treating us as outsiders. We often eat here after we get paid. It's not easy for you to come here, so of course the drumsticks are for you." Huazi said, "If I go to Beijing, you have to treat me to roast duck." "No problem. Everyone, go. I'll buy a whole Quan Jude. You can eat as much as you want." He wasn't just saying this for fun. He, the big boss of Sky Entertainment Corporation, had no qualms about treating her to a meal. Lin Gu didn't hold back and took a bite. The chicken was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, and the sauce was super flavorful. Lin Gu even chewed on the bones and swallowed it. There was also the most representative dish here, the handheld rice. Chen Beiyuan said, "This rice must be eaten with your hands. Don't be shy. We have already washed our hands. Grab a bunch. Whatever you like to eat, just rub it into the rice and stuff it into your mouth. Try this glutinous feeling." Every local speciality was a classic delicacy. But Su Yun's favorite was the dye-flavored grilled fish. The dye-flavored grilled fish's aroma was enough to make people salivate. The surface was sprinkled with fried chili and sesame seeds, and the inside was also full of spices. The outside was crispy and the inside was tender. It was delicious. The fellow villager even delivered their homemade rice wine. In Huazi's words, this was a mouthful of rice wine and a mouthful of beef jerky. He tore it apart and chewed it in big mouthfuls. The man's boldness didn't need to be explained. The way he ate was like a wild man. There was also a dish of lemon river loach made from the loach in the Lansong River. It was cooked with lemongrass, lime, coriander, balsamic willow, and golden mustard. The texture was just like the winter secret art. The fish was so delicious that Lin Gu didn't even want to put down his chopsticks after eating. One had to know that this guy usually didn't eat fish. He always felt that eating fish was too troublesome. Of course, the local people also served sour papaya ham and chicken to important guests. The local specialty sour papaya was paired with savory ham and tender chicken stewed together. The taste was indescribable. Throughout the meal, Su Yun and Lin Gu were full of praises. The more they ate, the more energetic they became. The more they drank, the more intoxicated they became. The more they drank, the more intoxicated they became. Even Huazi felt a little dizzy from all the drinking. Of course, Huazi's drinking was approved by Captain Chen. The others didn't drink, not even a glass of beer. This was the narcotics unit's rule. They were not allowed to drink during working hours. Once something happened, they had to keep a clear head to deal with it. Huazi was special today. Chen Beiyuan didn't drink either. At least, he had to find someone who could drink with the guests. Huazi was naturally the best choice. He was also the only choice. In the end, Huazi said a lot and lamented a lot. Lin Gu finally understood why their brothers in the narcotics unit were so fierce when they were first discovered. It wasn't an act. It was real hatred. Huazi's hatred for drug dealers came from the bone. It didn't need to be explained. Even if he was just casually describing a matter, the hatred in his words was bone-piercing. Everyone could hear it. People learn everything in pain, Huazi said. Especially us. If we didn't have pain, we wouldn't have learned how to fight with those criminals. If we didn't have pain, we wouldn't know how hard it is to maintain the stability of the country today. Chen Beiyuan patted Huazi's shoulder. You drank too much. Go back and rest. I didn't drink too much. When Huazi said that, Su Yun realized that he really did drink too much. At that moment, Huazi stood up and said to Chen Beiyuan, Captain Chen, Chen Beiyuan, do you think that you'll feel better if I say that? Do you think that you'll feel better if I say that the country is stable? Chen Beiyuan's expression immediately turned ugly. However, Chen Beiyuan didn't say anything. He knew that Huazi was still brooding over what happened a few days ago. It was because of his stubbornness and wrong decision that the tragedy happened. Originally, Chen Beiyuan wanted to use his death as an apology. However, he didn't expect that the country would give him an even heavier responsibility. They let him take over the position of captain and let him use his actions to apologize. That was because he did it out of kindness. It was just that the outcome was terrible. Huazi had always comforted Chen Beiyuan on this matter. He had never said anything wrong about him. Today, Huazi had too much to drink and seemed to have something to say. The others saw that Huazi had drunk too much and wanted to stop him. Brother Huazi, let's go back and rest. Let's go out for a smoke. Let's smoke here. Who cares about you? Huazi pushed the person beside him away. Chen Beiyuan, there's something I want to say to you, but I'm afraid you won't dare to listen. If you're a man, listen carefully. If you're not a man, tell me to shut up. You're the captain. I'll listen to your orders. Chen Beiyuan made a prompt decision. I'll listen to whatever you say. I should listen to whatever you say, even if I'm the captain. All right. Since you dare to listen, then I won't hold back. Huazi said loudly. Su Yun smiled and tried to stop the awkwardness. Brother Huazi, I still have a lot of things to say to you in private. I want to catch up with you. Bring me to your room. I haven't been there in a long time. I miss it. You think I'm drunk too? Huazi turned to look at Su Yun. Brother, I'm not drunk. I understand what you mean. But if I don't take this opportunity to say something today, I'm afraid I won't be able to say it for the rest of my life. I'm not trying to blame anyone. I just want to sound the alarm. Chen Beiyuan nodded. Just say it. I'll listen. I'll sit here and listen. I believe I should listen to everything you say. Su Yun saw the situation and knew that it was best for him not to interfere. As long as Chen Beiyuan was open-minded enough, this matter wouldn't be a big deal. Moreover, he was curious about what Huazi wanted to say. Huazi pulled the topic back. Is the country really that stable? Is the control over the source of the poison that good? No one knows this better than us. Although we've been working hard, what we've done is far from enough. Far from enough. Chapter 3294. There was only silence in the air. At this moment, everyone's head was bowed deeply. Everyone knew what Huazi meant by his words. Although they worked hard and were not afraid of suffering, injury, or sacrifice for the cause of drug prohibition, what was the final outcome? They still did not get the result they wanted. Drug dealers were like weeds that could never be extinguished by fire. They would grow again when the wind blew. They could never be stopped. Every time they encountered such a setback, they would always feel terrible. That feeling was always hard to swallow. But they had to force themselves to swallow all those disgusting feelings. No one denied their work in drug prohibition. No one did not admire their bravery and fearlessness. But the outcome was still not ideal. That was the most heart-wrenching thing. Especially those celebrities and public figures. They would even touch such things. Spending the money they earned from their fame on drugs was not only their own depravity, but it was also letting down their fans. The scariest thing was that the money they earned from the bystanders was actually spent on those criminals. Because of their financial support, those criminals had more advanced weapons and equipment. Because of the financial support these criminals received, they caused more damage to the heroes who protected the border and the country. Therefore, those drug addicts were directly supporting the criminals and indirectly killing them. Every day, every year, we fight against drug dealers. We always think that we have seized all the drugs. But why do drugs still exist in the country? Huazi did not understand. Every time he thought of this problem, Huazi had a splitting headache. There are nearly 15 million drug addicts in Huaxia. The drug addicts tend to be younger and more diverse. The variety of drugs is prominent. More than half of the drug addicts are under the age of 35. What does this mean? Huazi said angrily, Chen Beiyuan, what do you think this means? Chen Beiyuan only said 4 words. It's my responsibility. The drug addicts are spreading to employees, freelancers, people in the entertainment industry, and even government officials. Who is responsible for this? Huazi continued. Chen Beiyuan still said, it's my responsibility. What's the point of just taking responsibility? Huazi raised his glass and downed another glass of beer. The social harm of drugs is getting worse day by day. Every year, the direct economic loss caused by drug abuse in the country was close to 500 billion. There were many cases of crimes caused by drug abuse, such as suicide and self-harm, harming others, drug driving, assaulting the police, resisting the law, and so on. Despite repeated prohibitions, it still won't stop. Chen Beiyuan said, these are all my responsibilities. I swear that I will use all my energy to solve and deal with these crimes. Huazi sat down heavily on the chair, his gaze unfocused. Poppy cultivation and crystal meth production in the Golden Triangle still maintain a large scale. It is the largest source of heroin and crystal meth tablets in Huaxia. Heroin from the Golden Crescent and cocaine from South America have a considerable share of the drug consumption market in Huaxia. Chen Beiyuan said, so I admit that we have a great responsibility. What's the point of admitting it? The people who shouldn't have died are dead, and the things that should be banned have flowed into Huaxia. Huazi sighed. Hearing this, Su Yun frowned. Obviously, Huazi was referring to the tragedy not long ago. Not only did many people die, but the harmful things could not be destroyed. The drugs still flowed into the country. Chen Beiyuan shook his head helplessly and said to Su Yun, the drug trafficking community now shows 3 characteristics: young age, low education level, and low employment ability. It will never be possible to ban them from the root. Moreover, the drug trafficking methods are hidden, and the mercenaries are cunning. After so many years, they have many channels in the country. They change very quickly and are difficult to control. In recent years, the flow of drugs from our country or through our borders has been increasing. The drug flow also shows a strong regional trend. There are more and more major drug cases, and it is more and more chilling. Now, in the logistics space, the problem of drugs on the internet is becoming more and more prominent. It is a mess. I can understand, Su Yun said lightly. Huazi looked at Su Yun. We don't need anyone to understand. We just need to solve the problem. Brother Huazi, some things can't be rushed. Su Yun said, in terms of drug abuse, our country will definitely continue to face the double pressure of consolidating the drug control results and dealing with the rapid spread of synthetic drug abuse. This is not something that can be solved in a short time. But we can't afford to waste time. Huazi shook his head. We really can't afford to waste time. In addition to the inflow of drugs from abroad, the problem of the new psychoactive substances will be further exposed as the work intensifies. There is the possibility of rapid abuse in the country. When will we be able to control these? Without waiting for the others to speak, Huazi directly waved his hand. After drinking another glass of beer, Huazi's mood was even lower. Under the influence of the local situation, the Golden Triangle is still the main source of heroin and methamphetamine tablets in our country. Stimulated by the huge consumer market and huge profits, the domestic drug production activities will be difficult to suppress in the short term. The raw materials of drug production will continue to change with the adjustment of the control policy. Unregulated chemicals will continue to appear, and the drug trafficking routes will continue to change. It will gradually change to cross-provincial, multi-regional, and batch-like distribution. As the smuggling and trafficking methods continue to evolve, the difficulty of prevention and suppression will become greater and greater. Hua Zi expressed all the worries in his heart. How could all these not be Chen Beiyuan's worries? How could all these not be the worries of every member of the anti-narcotics unit? How could all these not be problems that Su Yun was also worried about? However, since the emergence of drugs, for thousands of years, no one was able to truly ban them. There had never been any era that could truly ban them. Hua Xia had already done a good enough job. Such a magnificent country, so many people, so much land. With so many frontline anti-narcotic soldiers working so hard for the anti-narcotics cause, it was already a blessing to be able to reap so many rewards. Perhaps it was because Hua Zi had vented all the accumulated resentment in his heart. His relaxed body and mind seemed to have sobered up at this moment. I've said too many things that I shouldn't have said. I know all these. I can't blame any of you. Hua Zi glanced at Chen Beiyuan. Captain Chen, no matter when, as long as the front line needs it, please remember that there's still a useless guy like me. Without your military management, we wouldn't have such good combat conditions. Chen Beiyuan said, Hua Zi, you've worked hard. If this is considered hard work, then the brothers on the front line have it even harder. Hua Zi said, I really want to return to the front line. Even if I die in battle, I feel that I'm more worthy of the country than this. You've never let the country down. You've always been worthy of the country. Chen Beiyuan said. Su Yun added, That's right, brother Hua Zi. You've always been worthy of the country. Everything you've done is worthy of the country. No matter what your job is, it's equally important in the anti-narcotics cause. You definitely shouldn't blame yourself. But my brothers have all sacrificed themselves for the anti-narcotics cause. I'm the only one left alive. I really feel that there's no meaning in living. Hua Zi sighed. If your sacrifice can change the entire anti-narcotics effort, I definitely won't stop you from sacrificing yourself. I'll admire you. Su Yun said, but if your sacrifice can't change anything, then there's no need for such a sacrifice at all. Do you understand? Hua Zi fell silent. Chen Beiyuan nodded. Su Yun is right. If it's a necessary sacrifice, I have no objections. But I definitely won't allow it if it's not necessary. Hua Zi's heart finally calmed down at that moment. What you're doing now is necessary. It's an important position in our narcotics squad. Chen Beiyuan continued, so I order you to do your job well. This is the greatest help you can give to the anti-narcotics cause, the greatest help you can give to our narcotics squad. Old Captain would definitely be gratified if he knew about this in the netherworld. Su Yun patted Hua Zi on the shoulder. A man who didn't even cry when he was blown up by a grenade actually shed tears at that moment. Chapter 3295. This meal seemed to be the longest one Su Yun had ever had. After the meal, Su Yun got in touch with Wan Guangxiao. The higher-ups quickly arranged for the local authorities to meet Su Yun in the narcotics squad. 4 cars and 15 people came. 3 of them were experts in cultural relics appreciation. The first thing they did was to appraise the authenticity of the beast head. After the appraisal, it was confirmed that the beast head was authentic. Su Yun and Lin Guo were relieved. For the sake of the beast head's safety, they decided to leave it with Su Yun and Lin Guo so that they could bring it back to Beijing and hand it over to the relevant authorities. The relevant authorities directly prepared to book flight tickets for Su Yun and Lin Guo. However, because Xia Qiuyu and Yang Ye were still in Yunnan, Su Yun had to reject the relevant arrangements. Su Yun said that he could go back by himself, so they didn't need to worry about the relevant authorities. As for the beast head, since they needed to bring it back to Beijing, they would definitely complete the task. Because of Su Yun's request, the relevant authorities couldn't make the decision. They immediately got in touch with Beijing and asked Wan Guangxiao to order Su Yun to fly back with the beast head immediately. Only then could they rest assured. However, Wan Guangxiao threw out a sentence without holding back. My people can bring the beast head from the Golden Triangle into the territory. Why can't they bring it back from the southern border to Beijing? Aren't you looking down on Wan Guangxiao's people too much? My people can come and go as they want. They can come back whenever they want. No matter when they come back, the beast head will be brought back safely. Everyone knew about Wan Guangxiao's temper. No one said anything else about this matter. Su Yun could do whatever she wanted. The matter of booking a plane ticket and leaving immediately was cancelled. The local authorities also invited Su Yun and Lin Gu to stay in the city, but Su Yun refused. Su Yun said that he would stay in the narcotics squad for a day because he wanted to catch up with Huazi. He didn't want to be polite to those leaders. In the end, no one could control Su Yun. Su Yun stayed in the narcotics squad. Chen Beiyuan found a safe for them. Su Yun locked the beast head and went to chat with Huazi. Lin Gu didn't have a choice. He mingled with a few brothers in the narcotics squad. Lin Ji's skills were good, so he gave them some simple guidance here. It didn't matter. More and more people wanted to learn from him. In the end, Lin Gu was surrounded by people. Lin Gu couldn't leave even if he wanted to. In the end, Lin Gu was sweating. Fortunately, he could take a bath in the place where he lived. Lin Gu didn't care. Su Yun chatted for a long time in Huazi's room. The two talked about many things that happened a few years ago. Huazi also talked about some big things that happened in recent years. Those people who were close to Su Yun sacrificed themselves one by one. Su Yun felt more and more uncomfortable. In the end, he felt a little depressed. Huazi patted Su Yun's shoulder and told him again, "In our line of work, we know very well that we have to face death sooner or later. Stepping into this line of work, we are prepared to sacrifice for the country. No one doesn't know that." Huazi felt that these words could make Su Yun feel better. It was getting late. Su Yun also left Huazi's dormitory and returned to his room. At this time, Lin Gu had also returned to his room to take a shower while whistling. Su Yun took a comfortable hot shower. Almost all of his tiredness dissipated. Before turning off the lights, Su Yun glanced at the safe. But the moment he turned off the lights, his mind buzzed. He remembered very clearly that when the safe was closed, the handle was facing down. At this moment, the handle of the safe was facing right. At this moment, Su Yun instantly turned on the lights again. He went forward and opened the safe without saying a word. It was empty inside. There was nothing. This was the narcotics squad. There was a thief in the narcotics squad. At this moment, Su Yun was on the verge of collapse. He really couldn't believe that everything he saw was real. If the thing was really stolen, who could it be? Su Yun walked to the door and looked around. There were many places that the surveillance cameras couldn't capture. If it was someone who was familiar with this place, he could easily enter the blind spots of the surveillance cameras. He wouldn't appear in the surveillance video at all. Su Yun directly knocked on Lin Ji's door. At this moment, Lin Gu was preparing to sleep. When he heard Su Yun's words, his whole mind buzzed. Lin Gu ran barefoot to Su Yun's room. After confirming that Su Yun wasn't scaring him, he directly walked out of the room and used all of his strength to roar, "Who the F***ck stole the beast's head? I'll give you a chance. It's not too late to take it out now. If I find it, I'll skin you alive." Su Yun pushed him. Before this matter was cleared up, it would cause disgust. He didn't know whether Lin Gu was disliked or not, but he completely shocked the entire narcotics squad. Chen Beiyuan and Huazi rushed over immediately. After learning about the situation, Chen Beiyuan's mind went blank. They immediately arranged for people to check the surveillance cameras. Soon, they confirmed that there was no outsider at all during this period of time. If someone in the narcotics squad wanted to take action, it was really hard to say. Chen Beiyuan actually didn't believe it. He didn't believe that his own people would do such a thing. This kind of thing was too despicable. It was so despicable that he wanted to vomit. Chen Beiyuan believed that there was no such person in the narcotic squad, so he couldn't believe and accept this situation. However, Huazi said directly, regardless of whether it was done by our own people or not, everyone in the narcotic squad is a suspect in today's incident. You're not a suspect because you've been with Su Yun the whole time. You don't have the time to commit the crime. You have an alibi, Chen Beiyuan said. Several people who had been with Lin Gu raised their hands and explained the situation. They said that they had been with Lin Gu the whole time. They also had alibis and didn't have the time to commit the crime. This made it more chaotic. Many people raised their hands and said that they also went to see Lin Gu show his skills. Once Su Yun heard this, he understood that someone must have taken advantage of the chaos to do something. However, this person's method of opening the safe was definitely very fast. He must be a master at picking locks. Su Yun told Chen Beiyuan this idea. Chen Beiyuan really did have a candidate in mind, but this person didn't look like someone who would do such a thing. Chen Beiyuan couldn't accept this. Lin Gu also proposed an idea. Since so many people said that they were with him at the time, he would give everyone a piece of paper and let them write down the names of the people they remembered. This way, he could filter them out. Those who were really present at the time would definitely remember a few people around them. The person who wasn't remembered by anyone was obviously the person who wasn't present. This idea was also very good, but after everyone finished writing, everyone's name appeared. At least one person had remembered it. This made Lin Gu a little difficult. Of course, a person whose name appeared only once was suspicious because the person might have written the name himself. That was very likely. However, Chen Beiyuan's face changed a little. Because among these people whose names only appeared once, one of them was indeed a master at picking locks. In the end, Su Yun proposed another idea. He wanted to watch the surveillance video. He wanted to watch all the surveillance cameras within 100 meters of his room and the reception building. Chen Yuanbei didn't think this was necessary because this was the only way to the cafeteria. He believed that almost everyone would appear in the surveillance video. This couldn't be used as evidence at all. However, Su Yun whispered in Chen Beiyuan's ear, "I'm not looking for the people who appeared in the surveillance video. I'm looking for the people who didn't appear in the surveillance video." Hearing this, Chen Beiyuan suddenly understood. So that's it. People with a guilty conscience would deliberately avoid the surveillance video. The more the person didn't appear in the surveillance video, the more it meant that he was scheming to avoid everything. With Su Yun's reminder, Chen Beiyuan was confident. He quickly checked the surveillance video again. Now, all the people in the anti-drug team were gathered in the conference room. Before the matter was investigated clearly, no one could walk out of the door. Chen Beiyuan swore that he would investigate the matter thoroughly. If it was really his people who did it, he would definitely punish them severely. Kill one to warn the others. Let everyone know the rules here. Let everyone know the principles here. Chapter 3296. In the entire surveillance video, after the Beast Head arrived at the narcotic squad, 42 of the 43 members of the narcotic squad appeared in the surveillance video. Only one person did not enter the range of the Beast Head. And this person was also the one whose name had only appeared once, Duan Mingming. Chen Beiyuan frowned. What made him even more uneasy was that Duan Mingming was a well-known lock-picking expert in the narcotics unit. Any lock was not worth mentioning in front of him. Su Yun did not say much about all this. He believed that Chen Beiyuan must have his own judgment. He must have trust in his own people. Su Yun was a guest. It was not a good thing to suspect him. Lin Gu wanted to speak his mind a few times, but Su Yun raised his hand to signal him not to say anything. It was not their place to express their opinions. Su Yun, I will definitely give you an explanation, Chen Beiyuan said. Don't worry. No one will be able to take our country's things out of here. I will definitely punish those who tarnish the reputation of our unit. Captain Chen, I believe in you, Su Yun said lightly. Chen Beiyuan glanced at Huazi. Gather everyone. Today's incident must be dealt with as soon as possible. Huazi nodded solemnly. What do you plan to do? If it was really done by one of our own, I will shoot him. Chen Beiyuan was expressionless when he said this. He was not joking. He was serious. Huazi wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, he shook his head, got up, and walked out. 10 minutes later, everyone was gathered. Chen Beiyuan and Su Yun appeared in front of everyone. Chen Beiyuan's face was gloomy the whole time. Everyone in the narcotics unit knew Chen Beiyuan's temper very well. When it came to matters of principle, there was no room for negotiation. I don't think I need to tell you what happened here today, Chen Beiyuan said lightly. Chen Beiyuan said indifferently, I'm a person who cares a lot about face. You all know this very well. But today, my face has been completely thrown away. Everyone was silent. There was no sound at all except for the sound of breathing. Do you know why I'm embarrassing myself now? As Chen Beiyuan spoke, he suddenly raised his voice and cursed, I've only been King captain for a few days. Each and every one of you, stretch out your fingers and calculate for me. It had only been a few days. Just like that, something happened. Right under my nose, in the narcotics squad. The beast head had been stolen. Where am I supposed to put my face in the future? Tell me where to put my face. Chen Beiyuan was so angry that he almost lost his mind. Captain Chen, calm down, Su Yun said. Let's talk about it. It's not like we can't solve it yet. Ever since Su Yun and the others had arrived at the narcotics unit, none of the narcotics unit members had left. Therefore, Su Yun was not worried about losing the beast head. I can't calm down. I really feel like I can tear my face off, throw it on the ground, and stomp on it. Chen Beiyuan said, I'll let them talk. I'll let them tell me. How am I supposed to stand in front of you with this face of mine? Huazi said, if the person who did this stupid thing doesn't stand up, I won't be able to help you later even if I want to. Everyone was in an uproar. Everyone knew that something like this had happened, but no one could believe that it was one of them who had done it. One had to know that the brothers of the narcotics squad had always been honorable. How could they do such a thing? Everyone was talking about it, but no one stood up. Chen Beiyuan could not stand it anymore. Duan Mingming. Do I have to name him? Chen Beiyuan's angry rebuke resounded in the narcotics squad again. The noise suddenly stopped, and everyone's eyes fell on Duan Mingming. Duan Mingming had graduated from university and was a police officer. After 2 years of police academy, he graduated at the age of 24 and was assigned to the local narcotics squad. He worked there for 3 years and made many contributions. Later, he had the opportunity to study at the border narcotics squad. Duan Mingming signed up and came here. After coming to the narcotics squad, Duan Mingming had been working hard. He had performed very well in the past 2 years. Of course, in the past 2 years, he also realized that the narcotics squad in his area was worlds apart from the narcotics squad in the border narcotics squad. Duan Mingming had experienced so many life and death situations that he had become numb. After a year of studying here, he wanted to go back. He really could not stand this place anymore. But in the end, he did not get what he wanted. Because the border narcotics squad was short on manpower, and he was one of the more outstanding people who came to study. He was an indispensable talent, so the higher-ups wanted him to stay. Duan Mingming did not say anything at that time and stayed. Another year passed. Chen Beiyuan could not believe that such an outstanding young man would do such a thing. Duan Mingming, tell me, why did you do this? Chen Beiyuan asked. Duan Mingming looked at Chen Beiyuan blankly. Captain Chen. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Are you saying that I stole the animal's head? Who else could it be if not you? Chen Beiyuan said, You're probably the best at opening safes in the entire narcotics squad. Just because I know how to open safes, it means I did it? Duan Mingming was obviously not convinced. Everyone in the narcotics squad knows how to open safes. It's just that I'm better. If you say that I'm better than you means I did it, then I'm not convinced. Yeah, Captain Chen. Could it be that Mingming did it? Captain Chen, this, Let's investigate this thoroughly first. Duan Mingming is not that kind of person. Some people had already started to speak up for Duan Mingming. Chen Beiyuan flew into a rage on the spot. All of you shut the F***ck up. If I don't have evidence, why would I talk nonsense? Duan Mingming, do you dare to take out your work report? As he spoke, Chen Beiyuan took out the name list that everyone had submitted. This was the name list that he had asked everyone to write down the names of the people around them when they watched Lin Ge instruct them. The name list in Chen Beiyuan's hand was submitted by Duan Mingming. This was the only name list with Duan Mingming's name on it. Obviously, Duan Mingming had written down his own name, because the name list asked him to write down the names of the people around him, not himself. Therefore, Duan Mingming had written down his own name with ulterior motives. The reason why Chen Beiyuan was sure that it was Duan Mingming who had written it was very simple. It was because he recognized Duan Mingming's handwriting. Perhaps Duan Mingming had deliberately changed his handwriting, but when he wrote his own name, he still could not change his habit of signing his name. Chen Beiyuan used to be an instructor in the narcotics squad. He was in charge of ideological work. Usually, when he asked everyone to write ideological reports, he would pay attention to everyone's signature, because a signature represented a person's personality and habits. Therefore, Chen Beiyuan was familiar with everyone's signature. When he first saw the name list, he had already begun to suspect Duan Mingming. Now that Duan Mingming was not in the surveillance footage, it was obvious that he had deliberately avoided the surveillance cameras so that they could not see him at all. This was the reason why Chen Beiyuan was so sure. When Duan Mingming saw the name list, he was stunned. Everyone else also looked over. I just want to ask one question. Just now, when you were learning the fighting techniques, who saw Duan Mingming? Chen Beiyuan roared. Use your brains. Think about it. Who saw Duan Mingming at the scene? None of the names on the name list in my hand have written down Duan Mingming's name. Only this name list has Duan Mingming's name, and this name list was written by Duan Mingming himself. No one could control Chen Beiyuan's anger. He fiercely threw the name list in his hand onto the ground. The beast's head could only have been stolen at that time. Duan Mingming, tell me, where were you at that time? Why didn't you appear in the surveillance footage at that time? Could it be that you know how to turn invisible? This time, Duan Mingming was completely speechless. Just as Chen Beiyuan was about to continue his lecture, Duan Mingming suddenly pushed aside the people around him and madly rushed toward the entrance of the narcotics squad. He actually wanted to escape. Chapter 3297. The entire narcotics squad was dumbfounded. No one expected Duan Mingming to really do something like that. If he didn't admit it, at least half of the people present would think that Chen Beiyuan had misunderstood some details and misunderstood Duan Mingming. However, Duan Mingming's escape didn't require any explanation. If he wasn't guilty, why would he run away? Duan Mingming had the confidence to run away in front of so many people because he had this confidence. Duan Mingming started practicing martial arts with his uncle when he was 5 years old. He started learning Sonda when he was 7 years old. In his second year of university, he participated in the province's Sonda competition and won the first prize. During the 2 years he studied at the police academy, he was the best in the school skills competition every year. Regardless of whether it was kung fu with his fists or his marksmanship or his knife skills, he mastered all the skills perfectly. In the words of their principal, this kid was born to be a police officer. Even if he came to the border narcotics squad where crouching tigers and hidden dragons gathered, Duan Mingming was still one of the few experts among the many outstanding frontline fighters. That was why he dared to run away, because he was confident that no one in the narcotics squad could stop him. However, he neglected the fact that there were 2 other people present who weren't part of the narcotics squad, Su Yun and Lin Ge. Naturally, Su Yun wouldn't do this kind of thing himself. He knew that Lin Ge was enough. Lin Ge leaped forward. Duan Mingming had only run 20 to 30 meters when Lin Ge grabbed him by the shoulder. Duan Mingming was shocked. He looked back and felt a little panicked. Lin Ge was able to catch up to him in such a short time. Clearly, His confidence had been severely damaged. Duan Mingming, who was caught, didn't seem to have any intention of giving up. He turned around and threw a punch directly at Lin Ji's face. Lin Gu didn't expect this guy to actually dare to fight back. He panicked and swept Duan Mingming to the ground. Duan Mingming's skills were considered pretty good in the narcotics squad. He was very agile. After falling down, he immediately got up from the ground and assumed a posture as if he really wanted to exchange a few blows with Lin Gu. Obviously, he hadn't seen Lin Ji's teaching that night. If he had seen it, he would have been like the other narcotics squad members. He definitely wouldn't have been stupid enough to make a move against Lin Gu. Anyone who had seen Lin Ji's guidance today would know that although Lin Gu was young, he was not on the same level as them. With their combat experience, fighting Lin Gu was no different from throwing an egg at a rock. Other than Huazi, no one in the narcotics squad knew how terrifying Su Yun's skills were. Even Chen Beiyuan didn't know. Chen Beiyuan had only been transferred to the narcotics unit 3 years ago as an instructor. The previous instructor had been under too much pressure and had become paralyzed after a stroke. In the past 3 years, Wan Guangxiao had been too busy to come here. So Chen Beiyuan really hadn't seen it. The past 3 years were indeed eventful. It could be said that ever since Su Yun left the Dragon Brigade, the people in the Dragon Brigade hadn't had a moment to rest. Wan Guangxiao was also very busy. Russia had suffered heavy losses in recovering a certain group of officials. Wan Guangxiao had arranged for the Dragon Brigade to rescue the hostages. The American Empire had caused a lot of trouble in the Middle East. Everyone was in a state of panic. All sorts of armed criminal organizations had risen in response. The United Nations had requested for various countries to arrange for personnel to do rescue work. It was also Wan Guangxiao who had accepted this job and arranged for the Dragon Brigade to do it. Although the Philippines wasn't a good country, Huaxia had also helped them when they were threatened by anti-government forces. There were also the pirates in the Soma Sea. They were a problem that could never be completely eradicated. Wan Guangxiao also had to arrange for the Dragon Brigade to deal with them from time to time. When the country had an earthquake, their special forces had to go to the most dangerous places to save people and do the most dangerous things. The armed conflicts in Africa were getting more and more intense. Wan Guangxiao also had to arrange for people to do things for the United Nations Joint Forces. All of this had made Wan Guangxiao very tired in the past few years. There was also the recent incident in the South China Sea. Of course, the American Empire didn't do anything in the end. The new president of the Philippines had also begun to express goodwill towards Huaxia. Perhaps it was because he wanted to curry favor with Huaxia. This guy had first scolded the people from the American Empire's embassy. Recently, he had also scolded the American Empire's Little Ma as being raised by AB*TCH and said that Little Ma's mother was a prostitute. If Su Yun knew about this, Su Yun would definitely give him a thumbs up. Zhou was a blabbermouth. Su Yun could sense this from the beginning. At that time, Zhou didn't say so much because he didn't have much power. Now that he dared to scold him like this, he was more or less a petty person intoxicated by success. Zhou became the president because of that idiot. In order to get more support, he naturally had to show his ability to govern the country. Therefore, he had to mercilessly and severely punish criminals. This was because he wanted to exterminate the group of hooligans who had helped Su Yun before. This was to prevent these people from gossiping about him. These hooligans wanted to use their fate with him, the great president, to make use of their capital to make huge profits from the drug business. In the end, a few days after Zhou entered the presidential palace, hundreds of drug dealers died on the streets. He almost didn't go through any legal procedures. He directly used his gun on the drug dealers, causing the United Nations to criticize him for human rights abuses. However, he didn't care at all. The moment he opened his mouth, he scolded the United Nations and Xiao Ma's mother. In the end, the originally planned meeting between the two of them was cancelled by Xiao Ma. It was unknown if this guy still regretted it now. However, no matter how much he scolded, he didn't dare to scold Huaxia. In short, Wan Guangxiao was now very busy with these matters. He couldn't find the time to bring people to the border drug enforcement team to teach the soldiers and train them in combat skills and combat experience. Therefore, this time, Su Yun and Lin Gu came to give some pointers. It could be considered as helping Wan Guangxiao do something that they could. Of course, Lin Gu had only been demonstrating before. Now, he had a chance to play for real. Just now, when he put Duan Mingming on the ground, Lin Gu didn't want to hurt anyone. But now, looking at Duan Mingming's posture, he wanted to arm wrestle with him. Lin Gu tilted his head slightly and looked at Su Yun. Su Yun didn't have any expression. Lin Gu knew that this was a tacit agreement that he could make a move. Duan Mingming also took advantage of the moment when Lin Gu looked at Su Yun to make a move. He wanted to take the initiative. And the moment he made a move, he attacked Lin Ji's throat. He used a killing move right away. Not to mention Lin Gu, even the other onlookers were very surprised. No matter what, everyone was on the same side. Even if they fought because of some things, they didn't have to use a killing move right away. Since Duan Mingming used a killing move, Lin Gu didn't care so much. He faced Duan Mingming's fist with a punch. Today, he wanted to teach this guy who had lost his police ethics a lesson and make him remember this day. The two fists collided. Although Duan Mingming was strong, his fist was no match for Lin Ji's steel-like bones. With a crack, who knew how many of his finger bones were broken? At least after Duan Mingming took the punch, he retreated a few meters. Even after he stood firm, his arm trembled from the pain. He couldn't clench his fist anymore. Lin Gu shook his fist and said to Duan Mingming provocatively, "Do you want to continue playing? It's not too late to admit defeat." After all, he was a member of the border anti-drug team. Duan Mingming wasn't so cowardly. However, the bones in his fist were broken. There was no way he could continue fighting. Duan Mingming knew very well that if he thought that he had a chance of winning, it would be a fool's dream. Lin Gu was now blocking Duan Mingming's escape route to the anti-drug team's gate. Behind Duan Mingming were all members of the anti-drug team. At this moment, Duan Mingming was really facing a wolf in front and a pack of wolves behind him. For a moment, he really didn't know what to do. "You have nothing left to live for, right?" Lin Gu continued to shake his fist. "Hurry up and give me the beast head. Don't let me waste so much saliva." Duan Mingming gritted his teeth and said, "Kid, you don't have the qualifications to order me around, right? Then I'll beat you until you think I have the qualifications." Lin Gu glared. He was serious. "Pigeon, that's enough." Su Yun stopped him at this moment. After all, this was the anti-drug team. Duan Mingming was also a member of the anti-drug team. Even if they wanted to punish him severely, it was the anti-drug team who would punish him. They couldn't take action. If they took action, it would easily make others feel disgusted. After all, they were brothers, even if Duan Mingming really did make a mistake. Chapter 3298. Chen Beiyuan suddenly took out his gun and aimed at the back of Duan Mingming's head. "Then tell me if I'm qualified or not." Duan Mingming was stunned for a moment. He turned around and looked at Chen Beiyuan. The black muzzle of the gun made him fall silent and stand still. "Of course you're qualified. You're the captain," Duan Mingming said in a low voice. "You're qualified to kill me. Do you think I don't dare?" Chen Beiyuan's eyes widened and his fingers trembled a few times. Su Yun could see from the corner of his eye that Chen Beiyuan really wanted to pull the trigger at some point. Duan Mingming looked up at Chen Beiyuan's gun. He believed that Chen Beiyuan would not shoot him. If Chen Beiyuan really did shoot him, then he would admit defeat. "Let me tell you. Now that you've done such a stupid thing, you deserve to die," Chen Beiyuan said. "I just want to know what kind of stupid thing you've done. How could you do such a damn thing? Do you know how disappointed I am?" Duan Mingming was silent. He lowered his head. No one knew what he was thinking. Remorse? Regret? Shame? Only Duan Mingming himself knew exactly what he was thinking. "Tell me, why did you do this? Don't blame me for not giving you a chance." Chen Beiyuan suddenly pulled the trigger at the sky. The gunshot startled some birds. When everyone was startled by the gunshot, Duan Mingming raised his head. Chen Beiyuan really did shoot him. Although he was not shot, it was clear what it meant. Duan Mingming knew that if he did not cooperate, the bullet would definitely pierce his chest. Captain Chen, it seems like you have no confidence in me. From the beginning to the confirmation, you firmly believed that I took the item. Duan Mingming said, although it's just a deduction without any substantial evidence, you still believe it. No substantial evidence? Isn't the name list evidence? Chen Beiyuan said, if you didn't write your own name, no one would write your name. This is the evidence. At most, it means that I have no alibi. Duan Mingming raised his voice. Should everyone go and watch this guy's performance? If I don't go, does it mean that I'm worthy of suspicion? Chen Beiyuan glared at him. Enough. Don't make me find any evidence. Otherwise, there will be no feelings between us. You want me to admit it now? Duan Mingming smiled. Okay, I admit it. You have already shot. I have nothing to hide. Even if you don't have evidence, I will no longer deny it. Why did you do such a stupid thing? Chen Beiyuan couldn't understand. He couldn't understand why someone as outstanding and promising as Duan Mingming would do such a thing. Duan Mingming shook his head and said nothing. Do you know your own potential? Do you know how outstanding you are? Do you know that you have a bright future ahead of you? Chen Beiyuan asked, why do you want to ruin your future with your own hands? Boundless future. Duan Mingming said, Captain Chen, tell me, what kind of future do I have? Chen Beiyuan was taken aback. He really didn't know where to begin. You're not telling me? All right, I'll do it. Duan Mingming said, my future is at most the same as yours, to be promoted to captain of the anti-drug brigade. This is the highest achievement I can possibly achieve in my life. The highest achievement. Chen Beiyuan didn't say anything, but he wanted to ask Duan Mingming in his heart. Isn't this enough? If the country made someone the captain of the border anti-drug brigade, it meant that the country trusted him. The entire anti-drug brigade, the logistics department, all the frontline soldiers, including those who were out all year round, added up to more than 400 people. Becoming the captain of these people was the highest honor. Don't you think this is honorable? Chen Beiyuan said lightly. Duan Mingming sneered. Honorable? Humph, of course it's honorable, but what's the use of being honorable? Speaking of this, Duan Mingming became emotional. Back then, I was admitted to the best university in the province as the city's top scholar. When I was in university, I had a girlfriend, but one night, my girlfriend came back late because she was tutoring. She was ruined by some hooligans who liked to hang around the school. Then, she committed suicide because of it. This kind of phenomenon was very common around various universities. There were more than 1 or 2 female university students who committed suicide because of this reason. But this kind of thing can't be controlled without evidence. Duan Mingming said, at that time, I swore that I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to punish these evil people. I graduated from the police academy at the age of 24 and was assigned to the anti-drug brigade. There wasn't a year where I didn't work hard. I caught countless hooligans who used drugs and sold drugs. This is your job. Chen Beiyuan said. There's nothing to show off. I'm showing off? You think I'm showing off? Duan Mingming said. Do you know why I'm here? Chen Beiyuan said, because you're a competent police officer. Because you swore to dedicate your life to the country's anti-drug cause. Why should I do that? Duan Mingming said angrily. I don't want to sacrifice my life for the anti-drug cause. I'm here to have a higher capital, so that I can have more room for promotion in the anti-drug brigade in my hometown. I want to be a leader. Chen Beiyuan was silent. Everyone present was silent. Perhaps there were people who had the same thoughts as Duan Mingming. However, the people who came here would change their minds because of the hero's sacrifice. For the sake of the anti-drug cause, I spent all my good years from 24 to 30 years old on this. Duan Mingming said. Everything in my life was drugs and drug dealers. My life has already deviated from normal. Do you know that? Everyone in the border anti-drug brigade was in the same situation as Duan Mingming. Every one of them lived with drugs and drug dealers. There was no other life. At my age, I should be working hard to get promoted. I should be looking for girls to date and enjoy love. At my age, I should be getting married and having children. When my father died of a heart attack, I was on AF*** King mission. I didn't even have the chance to go back and kowtow to him. Duan Mingming's voice was hoarse as he spoke. Everything he said moved everyone present. This was indeed something that every one of them had to face. This was the pain in every one of their hearts. Chen Beiyuan also knew this feeling. He had also endured under such circumstances. Then have you ever thought about it? What you did was great. If it weren't for what you did, there would be more people who wouldn't be able to live a normal life. Their lives would be ruined by drugs. They would lose their jobs, their love, and their families. But what does this have to do with me? Now, they've lost what they should have lost. And I've lost it too. Duan Mingming said. Why? Can you tell me? Because you're a narcotics police officer. Chen Beiyuan said hysterically. A cold smile appeared on Duan Mingming's face. Does my life as a narcotics police officer mean that it's worth less than a normal person's? No one spoke. Everyone looked at Chen Beiyuan in silence. Is my life worth less than those B****stards who couldn't resist temptation? Duan Mingming continued. Those people who took drugs deserved it. They couldn't resist the temptation. They deserved to die. Why should we sacrifice ourselves to save those B***stards who don't have willpower and opinions? No one thinks so. Chen Beiyuan said. You're overthinking it. I'm overthinking it? I'm not overthinking it at all. Duan Mingming said. People with willpower, no matter what drugs are put in front of them, no matter how exaggerated it is, they would never try it. Only those D***MN trash would try it. And everything we do is to save those D***MN trash who don't have willpower, isn't it? Su Yun could tell that there was something wrong with Duan Mingming's mentality. He felt that the world was unfair. That was the real reason why he felt so uncomfortable. It's not like that, Chen Beiyuan said. It's because of us that there's a more stable society. Do you understand? I don't understand, Duan Mingming said. Do you know how many temptations I have to face every day? When the drug dealers tried to bribe me with large sums of money, I was thinking, why do I have to do my current job? Why don't I just leave this godforsaken place after making money? Chapter 3299. Duan Mingming's words were really what he had been suppressing for a long time. As a boy from an excellent family, he had been the best in the eyes of his parents and teachers since he was young. He was the hope of their family in the future. Everyone had high expectations for him and hoped that he could be a person who would bring honor to his ancestors in the future. When Duan Mingming had just graduated from the police academy, his family hoped that he would work hard and get an official position so that his family would have more face in the future. Therefore, all of Duan Mingming's efforts were for his family. For his family, he could sacrifice everything and do anything. This was because he knew that his parents had too much hope for him since he was young. He didn't want to disappoint his parents who had raised him up. That was why he worked so hard and fought so hard. But he didn't expect that the result of his hard work would be that he would stay in the border anti-drug brigade. All of this was completely contrary to his parents' initial hope. Every time Duan Mingming called home, his mother would ask him when he would come back and when they could have grandchildren sooner. Duan Mingming couldn't speak at all. After he came here, everything changed for him. Everything was no longer under his control. The better his performance, the more the people in the anti-drug brigade needed him to stay and continue to work here. This was also something that Duan Mingming didn't expect. He thought that as long as he worked hard to do everything well, he would be transferred away sooner. But he never expected that the better he did, the more he wouldn't be transferred away and the more he wanted to stay. There was only one reason to stay in this place, and that was that the front line of the anti-drug brigade needed talents like Duan Mingming. When he found out that he wouldn't have a chance to leave the border anti-drug brigade for a while, Duan Mingming was disheartened. His family didn't understand and asked him if he had done something wrong, so he was punished to stay at the border. Duan Mingming explained to his family, but his family didn't believe him. They said that if he was an outstanding person, he would be arranged to sit in a clean and tidy office in a bright and beautiful city. He would wear a suit and tie and have many fangirls wherever he went. But what was this now? At the border, where birds didn't shit, he could die at any time if he dealt with drug dealers. He had never worn a suit or a white shirt. Duan Mingming had only worn a gray camouflage uniform or a dark green camouflage uniform. He had never worn any other clothes after he came to work at the border. In the blink of an eye, 2 or 3 years had passed, and he was already disheartened. Just when he was feeling disheartened, a drug dealer contacted him and offered him a large sum of money. He also hoped to cooperate with him and obtain internal information about the anti-drug brigade. This would make their future path easier. Of course, Duan Mingming refused at first. He even wanted to catch the drug dealer who bribed him. However, he failed and let this guy escape. Just a few days after this incident, his family called him and told him that his cousin's career was flourishing and he had a firm foothold in the big city. He had returned to his hometown and bought a house worth more than 2 million yuan for his family. One had to know that they were just an ordinary 3rd-tier or 4th-tier prefecture-level city. The property prices were only 8,000 to 9,000 yuan. It was impossible for them to be compared to Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. 2 million was enough to buy a super luxurious house in their city. It was said that this was the annual bonus for a successful person like her cousin. The bonus was enough to buy a house worth more than 2 million yuan. Therefore, Duan Mingming began to doubt his life. This was because he had always been better than his cousin. Even when he graduated from the police academy, his cousin still said that he was his idol. But now, his family asked him why he had never received a bonus. Since he had done such a great anti-drug work, why had he never received a large bonus? Why was his salary not even enough to buy a house in a 3rd-tier city? As a frontline anti-drug police officer, Duan Mingming's salary was only slightly higher than the local salary. Moreover, his line of work had nothing to do with other lines of work. No one would come to him to give him gifts or ask him to do things for them. Therefore, he could not do anything for others and had no gray income. No money, no fame. This was the life of a frontline anti-drug police officer in the border anti-drug brigade. How could Duan Mingming raise his head? How could Duan Mingming's family raise their heads? Therefore, when a drug dealer tried to contact him for the second time and bribed him, he was tempted. That time, he accepted the drug dealer's 1 million yuan. That was also the time when he sent the million yuan home and left the drug dealer a way out. His family was indeed happy. Duan Mingming said that this was his bonus. However, a shadow was left in Duan Mingming's heart. From then on, the drug dealer always wanted to find him as a breakthrough point. However, after doing this, Duan Mingming regretted it so much that he wanted to commit suicide. Of course, he would not agree to the drug dealer's request again. Then, he would be threatened. This threat had been with him for a month. Yesterday, the drug dealer warned him again that if he did not help them, he would report him and reveal the fact that he had received money from them. Because the drug dealer had recorded evidence, his reputation would be ruined. Duan Mingming's heart sank to the bottom. He knew that there was no such thing as an airtight wall in the world. As long as he did something, there would be a day when someone would find out. If the matter was exposed one day, he, Duan Mingming, would completely lose face for the Duan family. This would make him too ashamed to meet the ancestors of the Duan family in the future. Therefore, Duan Mingming decided to leave before the matter was exposed. He could take his family and leave. He could lie and say that he was working abroad because of his work. Then, he would take his family and live abroad in the future. However, this would require a large sum of money. This large sum of money became a headache for Duan Mingming. At this time, the beast head appeared. If the beast head was brought abroad, it would be a huge fortune. It was self-evident to Duan Mingming. Therefore, Duan Mingming decided to plan to get the beast head. First, he would cross the border to the Golden Triangle to find a place to hide the beast head. Then, he would use an excuse to go home and take his family out of the country. Then, he would fly back to the Golden Triangle to find the beast head. After selling the beast head, he would get a lot of money. At that time, he could apply for investment and immigration. Then, his family would live abroad. He would not have to worry about losing his reputation. His family would not be humiliated because of him. That was what Duan Mingming thought in his heart, and he wanted to make such a decision. Duan Mingming had always thought that he could make a name for himself as a police officer. Slowly, he found that he was wrong. The salary of a police officer in Huaxia was obviously too low. Look at Hong Kong and Macau. The most ordinary police officer was earning tens of thousands. A Japanese police officer was earning more than 500,000 yen a month, which was more than 35,000 yuan. Needless to say, the lowest-ranking police officer in the United States had an annual salary of $70,000 to $80,000 US. Moreover, they had 20 days of paid leave every year. They could also work part-time. After 20 years, they could retire. What about Huaxia? Duan Mingming felt that he was protecting the country with his life every day, but he never dared to ask for a 5-figure salary. Duan Mingming's situation also represented the situation of most of the Huaxia police officers. Why? Why am I here every day, serving the people wholeheartedly, working hard to protect the country? Why can't I get what I deserve even though I'm risking my life and blood? Duan Mingming said, I didn't give my family any face at all. Why is it that those well-dressed guys in the office don't earn less than us? Why do they have to accept all the performances while we only have to bear the risks? Why are we all policemen? The gap is so big. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan was more distressed than blaming him. To be honest, he could understand Duan Mingming's feelings. As a frontline anti-drug police officer, he could understand Duan Mingming's anger at the injustice in his heart at this moment. But a great cause had to bear all of this. This was what every member of the Border Anti-Narcotics Brigade had to bear. This was what every Border Anti-Narcotics policeman had to bear. This was their duty, 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 this was the national emblem on their uniforms and hats brought to them. There are too many unfairness in the world. The more outstanding a person is, the more dangerous it is to be thrown into. Su Yun suddenly said. Chapter 3300. Chen Beiyuan was stunned. He should be the one educating his people. Su Yun hadn't said anything because of this. But now that he couldn't help but speak, Chen Beiyuan naturally supported him and let Su Yun have the right to speak. Lin Gu grinned. He didn't expect Su Yun, who had a don't meddle in other people's business attitude, to intervene in this matter. This was going to be interesting. Yes, I admit that you are right. There are too many unfairness in this world. But why should I endure such unfairness? It's not like I don't have the ability to change this unfairness. Why should I endure it? Duan Mingming insisted. I don't want to be at the mercy of fate. Do you still remember why you want to be a police officer? Su Yun asked. Duan Mingming said without hesitation, I want to have a glamorous career. Let my family be proud. Also, don't tell me that I have to obey fate as a police officer. My life is in my own hands. It's not my fate to be a police officer. I fought for it. Indeed, your life is in your hands. Su Yun said. You fought for the opportunity to be a great frontline drug enforcement officer in the Border Anti-Drug Brigade. It's not fate. That's because I was too stupid. I thought I was just here to train. Duan Mingming said. I have parents and dreams. I still don't have a girlfriend. I'm 30 years old. I need to get married and have children. I need to give my parents an explanation. I don't want to stay here and listen to fate. Do you think your current treatment is unfair? Su Yun asked. Duan Mingming said firmly, Of course it's unfair. You don't know what my conditions are. So you can't understand the unfairness I've encountered. Alright, your basic salary and various subsidies add up to at least 8,000 yuan. Su Yun said, This salary isn't much, I admit. But have you ever thought that there are many people who are doing more dangerous things than you, and they don't get much more than you? Then tell me. Give me an example. Duan Mingming said. Su Yun pointed at himself and said, I'm an example. In the army I'm in, my salary is considered high, but it's only 10,000 yuan. Many of my brothers have a similar salary as you, but do you know what we do? Duan Mingming said, I don't care what you're doing. I only know that what I'm doing is risking my life. That's because you haven't seen what it means to risk your life, Su Yun said. You think you've been through a lot of bullets, but you're still far from it. Lin Gu also said from the side, My brother and I, for the sake of this beast's head, killed Sigu and more than 100 of his mercenaries in the tropical rainforest of the Golden Triangle before escaping. Do you think you can do this? That's right, the pigeons have risked their lives with me for the beast head. However, he was not even a citizen of the country, and the country had never paid him a single cent. Do you think it's fair for him? Su Yun said, He didn't have to do this at all. No one saw what you did. You can brag as much as you want. Duan Mingming said, The two of you? Against more than 100 mercenaries of the 4 dogs in the Golden Triangle? You should be thankful that you can deal with the 4 dogs raised by Sigu. The 4 dogs are really ruthless, especially the pit bull. Su Yun said, But, if I can't even deal with a few dogs, do you think I still have the face to take the 10,000 yuan monthly salary from the country? Although Su Yun had no salary after that incident, didn't he still never refuse Wan Guangxiao's summons? This was a responsibility in the heart. If everyone in the world only lived for their own selfish desires without a great sense of responsibility, what would the world become? How could human beings have today's civilized society? Wasn't it because of those who sacrificed their own interests for the sake of righteousness that society developed to today's state? Why were those primitive tribes still primitive tribes? Poverty and backwardness couldn't be changed. It was because they were too narrow-minded. They couldn't achieve great things at all. The development of society couldn't be selfish. Selfishness was the biggest obstacle to human development. However, no matter what Su Yun said, Duan Mingming still didn't believe that they could defeat the 4 dogs of the Golden Triangle with just the 2 of them. Because the strength of their entire border anti-drug team was afraid that they wouldn't easily have a large-scale conflict with the 4 dogs of the Golden Triangle. Even if it really happened, they couldn't guarantee that they could completely defeat the 4 dogs. Therefore, Duan Mingming didn't believe Su Yun's words at all. He won't lie. Huazi said to Duan Mingming, You don't believe it because you don't know the gap between you and others. Duan Mingming, you should have learned the story of the frog at the bottom of the well when you were in primary school. Huazi, it's not your turn to educate me here. You're already disabled and you still refuse to leave the anti-drug team. Are you crazy? Duan Mingming scolded. Regarding Huazi's matter, everyone in the anti-drug team had heard about it. Huazi had made a lot of contributions. Because of his injured ears, he couldn't fight on the front line. The anti-drug team took care of him and arranged a job for him in the household registration department of his hometown's public security bureau. He was even made a section chief. He was directly promoted to a section chief. In Huazi's hometown, a section chief would have some face in society. With Huazi's capital and his serious attitude, he would probably be promoted to a bureau chief in a few years. As an ordinary person, it was already good enough to have such a glorious life. However, Huazi refused and stayed to do such an inconspicuous job, a military warehouse manager. What was this? Great. Pretending. Duan Mingming couldn't understand. If it were him, he would leave immediately without hesitation. What's wrong with being a section chief? After all, he was still in the Public Security Bureau. It was a matter of pushing the boat with the current, a matter of success. Why would someone refuse? This was simply an idiot. What was he pretending to be great for? Duan Mingming couldn't understand Huazi. He didn't admire Huazi, only felt confused. Although he had never said anything before, he couldn't help but say it now. I'm crazy. I'm a person with an ear disability. Do you think it's appropriate for me to be a section chief of the Public Security Bureau's Household Registration Department? Huazi said, the country might not think I'm embarrassing, but I think I'm embarrassing the country. So I won't do it. I'm not qualified for that job. I can only do my job well. You are really hopeless. Duan Mingming said. Huazi pointed at Su Yun. You can't even compare to a finger of his. Do you believe it? I don't believe it. Duan Mingming stared. No matter what, he was a combat expert in the police world. He definitely felt uncomfortable being looked down upon. Huazi nodded. Sure, then you can try it with him. If he can't subdue you with a finger, you can leave. No one will stop you. Duan Mingming was stunned. Huazi, who do you think you are? Do you have the final say? Since Brother Huazi said so, I must give him face. He has the final say. Su Yun, I promised you personally. So you have nothing to worry about, right? Chan Beiyuan was still a little surprised. After all, he didn't know Su Yun as well as Huazi, so he must have some worries. However, Su Yun's confident look really made Chan Beiyuan's heart inexplicably rise with confidence. None of you have the final say. This is the Border Anti-Drug Brigade. The only person who has the final say is Captain Chen. Duan Mingming said, he definitely won't say such a thing. Whether I win or lose, he won't let me leave here. Duan Mingming, you underestimate me too much. Chan Beiyuan said, I really agreed to this matter today. If you have the ability to win, take the beast's head. I will take all the responsibility. But let me tell you, even if you can take the beast's head, I dare say that you won't hold on to it for long. Something that belongs to the country will belong to the country sooner or later. Duan Mingming shook his head in disbelief. I didn't expect you to bet with the beast's head. Because I don't believe you can win. Chen Beiyuan said, if you lose, you have to hand over the beast's head intact. This is my condition. Do you dare to agree? Chapter 3301. Why wouldn't I agree? Duan Mingming said, I'm just afraid that you won't keep your word. If you dare to play, I dare to play with you until the end. Then let's play. Su Yun smiled. 5 years ago, when he and Wan Guangxiao came to the Border Drug Enforcement Team, Su Yun was in charge of guiding the work. He treated it as guiding the work. Su Yun dared to agree because he had absolute confidence. Moreover, one of Duan Mingming's hands had been broken by Lin Gu, so his body must be in pain. Therefore, Su Yun had nothing to worry about. It should be easy for him to deal with Duan Mingming. Duan Mingming felt that Su Yun was obviously looking down on him. His ego exploded. He knew that Su Yun was from the Special Operations Group and had seen Lin Ji's skills. He knew that he was no match for them. However, if the other party said that he would only use one finger, that was too arrogant. Duan Mingming absolutely did not believe that the other party could hurt him with just one finger. That was simply a fantasy. It was unrealistic. Then what are you waiting for? Are you regretting what you said? Duan Mingming provoked. Su Yun walked towards the two of them at a leisurely pace. He did not seem to take this competition seriously at all. This situation really made Chen Beiyuan feel a little worried. Chen Beiyuan took a deep breath and whispered to Su Yun, his skills are not ordinary. Don't underestimate him. Don't worry, Captain Chen. I know. Su Yun smiled. I never underestimate any opponent, especially an opponent who is fighting like a cornered beast. I will not underestimate him. Chen Beiyuan's expression was a little awkward. Not underestimating the opponent, but agreeing to use one finger to play with him? This felt a little contradictory. However, Su Yun didn't feel conflicted at all. The finger he extended at this moment didn't underestimate Duan Mingming at all, but his finger also had absolute confidence in winning against the other party. When Duan Mingming saw Su Yun stretch out his right index finger, his face immediately showed an angry and embarrassed expression. To him, this was simply a merciless mockery. Duan Mingming attacked without hesitation. Although one of his hands was broken, the other one would not admit defeat. The sharp attack was aimed directly at Su Yun's face. Duan Mingming wanted to take down Su Yun in one go and make these arrogant bastards cry. However, Su Yun didn't even move his feet. He just leaned sideways and dodged Duan Mingming's fist. Before Duan Mingming could react, Su Yun's finger fiercely pointed at Duan Mingming's forehead. Su Yun suddenly exerted force, and Duan Mingming staggered back a few steps. The space between his eyebrows also became red and swollen. Su Yun shook his finger and smiled. Your basic skills aren't very solid. Go back and practice. I thought you would be a threat to me, but now it seems that I thought too much. With your level, one finger of mine is enough. In the face of Su Yun's provocation, Duan Mingming clenched his fists. The muscles on his cheeks and mouth trembled a few times. This was a kind of anger, a silent anger. Duan Mingming felt that he had suffered the greatest humiliation in his life. He was taught a lesson by someone with one finger. If this spread out, how could he survive in the future? He wouldn't be able to survive at all. Duan Mingming, who was angry out of humiliation, got into a fighting stance again. Su Yun stretched out his right index finger and hooked it, indicating that Duan Mingming should continue and not stop. Duan Mingming felt that he had suffered a great humiliation. He pounced like a tiger and rushed toward Su Yun with bared fangs and brandished claws. Su Yun leaned sideways to avoid Duan Mingming's aggressive pouncing like a hungry tiger. His finger knocked on the back of Duan Mingming's head. There were many nerves in the back of the head. A heavy blow was very likely to be fatal. Therefore, Su Yun's fierce knock, although it was only one finger, made Duan Mingming's brain buzz. I have seen people who don't care about their lives, but I have never seen someone who doesn't care about his life like you. Su Yun smiled slightly, leaving the back of your head to the opponent. I think you don't want to live anymore. Duan Mingming had already lost 2 moves in a row, and his face was completely lost. One must know that his opponent had only used a single finger. So far, he didn't even move from his standing position. Duan Mingming, who was continuously humiliated by Su Yun, couldn't control his emotions. Despicable person. You said you only used one finger, but all the power was exerted through your index finger. What's the difference between this and using one hand? Su Yun was stunned. He didn't expect this guy to find a reason so openly. This was obviously not what Su Yun expected. Duan Mingming was a bit embarrassed. Do you have any King shame? Lin Gu was annoyed when he heard this. I have already let you go so far. Are you still not satisfied? All the power was exerted through your index finger? If you have the ability, you can try using one finger. Let's see if I can break it for you. Duan Mingming glared fiercely at Lin Gu. He was speechless. Su Yun didn't care. Then you pick one finger. I need to have an attack point. I can't not fight back and let you hit me. That way, I can't win no matter what. Only Su Yun could win with one finger. If you have the ability, you can use your pinky. When Duan Mingming said this, he felt that he was a bit shameless. Lin Gu spat on the spot. Chen Beiyuan, Huazi, and the others also frowned. How could he say such embarrassing words? It really made their anti-drug team lose all face. Okay. Su Yun agreed very quickly. Pinky it is. Left hand. Duan Mingming added another sentence. Huaxia people were used to using their right hand as their main weapon. The left hand was only used as a support hand. Even those who practiced martial arts had this habit. Therefore, when Duan Mingming asked Su Yun's left pinky, it could be said that it was Su Yun's weakest point. Lin Gu couldn't take it anymore. Captain Chen, this person is too shameless. We already gave him a chance to use his pinky, and he still shamelessly asked for a yard after taking an inch. Is he still a man? Duan Mingming, don't you think you're going overboard? Chen Beiyuan said with a sullen face. Since Duan Mingming had already made his choice, he naturally wouldn't admit that his choice was wrong. Didn't you want to show off? I'm fulfilling your wish. I'm giving you a chance. If my left pinky can convince me, I'll immediately hand over the beast head with both hands. The anti-drug team is only so big. Even if you don't hand it over, I can find it in less than a day even if I dig 3 feet into the ground. Chen Beiyuan said, we're just giving you a chance to admit your mistake and redeem yourself. Don't you know how to cherish it? Captain Chen, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. I've already thought of a way to send the beast head out. Duan Mingming said, I'm the only one who knows where it is now. Chen Beiyuan's face changed instantly. He was the one who arranged for Duan Mingming to send over the food today. So, thinking of this, Chen Beiyuan didn't dare to think about it anymore. Su Yun's face changed too. Previously, Su Yun didn't take it seriously because he thought that since the beast head was in the anti-drug team, it was safe. Now that he knew that Duan Mingming had found an opportunity to send the beast head out, even Su Yun, who had a strong mental fortitude, couldn't stay calm anymore. You let someone take the beast head out? Su Yun's expression was already very ugly. Beat me first, then I'll tell you. Duan Mingming felt that he had the upper hand. His voice was different from before. It was completely provocative. You'd better not challenge my bottom line. Su Yun said, I guarantee that you'll regret it. Duan Mingming pointed at Su Yun's left hand. Don't forget what you said before. Beat me with one finger. It won't be too late to say these threatening words. Su Yun suddenly took a big stride forward. He knew that Duan Mingming was stalling for time. The longer he delayed, the more advantageous it would be for him. Su Yun didn't have time to wait anymore. Duan Mingming saw Su Yun coming at him and hurriedly raised his arms to block. However, Su Yun's finger mercilessly stabbed at his shattered right fist. Although it was only a finger attack, it still caused Duan Mingming to howl in pain. Then, Su Yun's little finger pressed against Duan Mingming's throat. Su Yun's voice was not angry, but it was powerful. Do you believe that I can take your life with my finger? The throat was a relatively weak part of the human body. Earlier, Su Yun had used his finger to stab Duan Mingming's broken hand to give him a visual experience. He wanted to let him know how much strength his finger had. And now, he was threatening Duan Mingming to let him know that he only needed to exert a little strength to pierce his throat. Chapter 3302. Cold sweat broke out on Duan Mingming's forehead. The disparity in strength was too great. He had no chance of winning this duel. Su Yun was not joking. Su Yun had no patience for Duan Mingming. This guy who had already stepped onto the path of no return was already beyond saving. Su Yun definitely wouldn't mind having one more person die under his hands. Duan Mingming, are you still not going to talk? Chen Beiyuan angrily rebuked. He could see that Su Yun was already filled with murderous intent. Although Duan Mingming's actions were despicable, he was still his subordinate. Chen Beiyuan did not wish for his subordinate to be killed by Su Yun. No matter what, Su Yun was just an outsider to them. It was not appropriate for an outsider to deal with his family affairs. I admit defeat. Duan Mingming's voice was very low. It was obvious that he was very disappointed. Obviously, this was an outcome that Duan Mingming had never expected. He was found out so quickly and defeated with a single finger. At this moment, Duan Mingming felt that his whole life was a failure. The huge sense of defeat made him want to commit suicide. For the first time, he felt that he was not the pride of his parents. For the first time, he felt that he was not outstanding. He could not even plan a basic crime well. This made Duan Mingming wonder if he was really stupid. This was the thing he could not accept the most. Tell us, where is the beast head now? Chen Beiyuan said, You have made countless achievements in the border drug enforcement team. As long as you can make up for your mistakes, I will help you apply for leniency. Duan Mingming laughed bitterly. He looked up at Chen Beiyuan and said, Captain Chen, there's no need. I'm already like this. What leniency do I need? I've lost my face. Our Duan family has been disgraced. Why would I care about leniency? Chen Beiyuan was stunned. I just hope the organization can give me a quick death. Don't let me continue living in this world. Duan Mingming said, Don't tell my family that I'm a traitor, a despicable person. If possible, please lie to them and say that I sacrificed myself in battle. At this point, Duan Mingming couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ha 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 ha, I know that's impossible. Those who are sacrificed are martyrs, the pride of the country. And I'm just a scum. It was a stain on the anti-drug brigade. I don't deserve respect. However, Chen Beiyuan gave Duan Mingming a promise. I believe that you were muddle-headed. Find the beast head and I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Duan Mingming was stunned. What opportunity? Go undercover beside the Golden Triangle drug lord, Jiwanhua. Collect all his drug trafficking routes. Chen Beiyuan said seriously, If you die, I will still tell your family that you are a martyr. Duan Mingming had received money from Ji Wanhua's informants, so it was best for him to be a spy. To be honest, this was the biggest life-saving straw for Duan Mingming. However, I have a condition. The beast head must be found safely. Otherwise, you will be a sinner for all eternity. Chen Beiyuan said, Bring us to find the beast head now. We can't waste another minute. Duan Mingming gritted his teeth and nodded. This was his last chance at redemption. He had to grab it. Su Yun had already let go of Duan Mingming. Duan Mingming stood up and said calmly, I asked the local who delivered the food to help me bring it out. I asked them to wait for me outside the southeast wall. I threw the thing out and they helped me bring it out. I promised them 10,000 yuan after the job was done. So, he helped me. You're really bold. Chen Beiyuan said, The beast head is our country's priceless treasure. You handed it over to someone else just like that. Aren't you afraid? Duan Mingming lowered his head in shame. I admit that I was too impatient. I didn't think too much. I was just in a moment of impulse, and then I did something that can't be undone. It's not that I didn't regret it. But it's already happened. There's no point in regretting it. Cut the crap. Let's go now. Bring us to that fellow's house. We can't let the beast head be in any danger, Su Yun said. Duan Mingming didn't hesitate and walked in front. Chen Beiyuan waved his hand and motioned for more than 10 people to follow them. The fellow who delivered the food just now was an acquaintance of the anti-drug brigade. He often liked to send food and drinks to the anti-drug brigade. His homebrewed wine and eggs laid by his free-range hens were often sent over. The anti-drug brigade was also very polite to this fellow. If his family sent over any specialties, even if they didn't eat them, they would leave some for the fellow. The brothers in the anti-drug brigade had a good relationship with this fellow. Everyone was very familiar with each other. No one had any doubts about the character of that fellow from the same hometown. The car drove for about 10 minutes and arrived at the fellow's house. When several cars stopped in front of the fellow's house, the fellow walked out of the house and was about to kneel down. Without waiting for Su Yun and the others to react, the old fellow knelt on the ground and repeatedly said, I know I made a mistake. I beg you to forgive me. I know I did something wrong. I was forced to do it. I beg you to forgive me. Chen Beiyuan was at a loss for what to do with this sudden turn of events. What are you doing? Stand up and talk. Chen Beiyuan went forward to help him. But this local fellow refused to stand up no matter what. I was blinded by money. I was blinded by money. I beg you, please don't arrest me. I can't go to jail now. Duan Mingming also knelt down at this time. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. It has nothing to do with you. I'm sorry for scaring you. Little Duan, I knew that there was something wrong with what you asked me to do. How could I have been so obsessed to believe you? The fellow villager was ashamed. As long as you return the things to us, we will never make things difficult for you. This has nothing to do with you. I will take all the responsibility. It's all my fault. Duan Mingming said, "Don't feel any psychological pressure or burden." The fellow immediately got up and went back to the house. He took out the 2 boxes with the beast heads and handed them to Chen Beiyuan. "The things are here. I didn't touch them. I'm sorry." Duan Mingming apologized again. "This is all my fault. Little Duan, you are a good child. You must have been forced to steal things. I didn't persuade you. I was bewitched by the money." The local fellow angrily slapped his head. "It's okay, as long as the things are intact." Chan Beiyuan comforted the fellow. Lin Gu took the box and opened it. Everything was fine. Only then did he nod to Su Yun. Su Yun glanced at the fellow. "Uncle, do you have any difficulties? If you lack money, I may be able to help you." No. I have made such a mistake. How can I ask you to help me?" The fellow shook his head vigorously. "If you don't arrest me, I will be grateful to my ancestors." Su Yun said, "If you don't tell us what difficulties you have, we have no reason not to arrest you." When the fellow heard this, he was shocked. Duan Mingming got up and turned around to glare at Su Yun. "I did this. He doesn't know what the situation is. Can you be more humane? Don't let my mistake implicate other innocent people." Su Yun glanced at Duan Mingming and didn't say anything. However, how could Su Yun be an inhumane person? Lin Gu knew that Su Yun must have his reasons for doing so. He said to Duan Mingming, "You are quite humane. If you are, why would you harm this fellow? Even if he is sentenced because of this, it is because of you." Duan Mingming's eyes widened. If that was the case, he wouldn't feel at ease for the rest of his life. From his reaction, he wasn't a bad person. Su Yun smiled and continued to say to the fellow, "You have to give us a reason. Only then can we give you a lenient treatment. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us." At this time, Chan Beiyuan also understood Su Yun's meaning. Su Yun didn't want to make things difficult for the fellow. He just wanted to inquire about the fellow's difficulties. That was all. Chapter 3303. Duan Mingming was a little agitated, so he didn't understand what Su Yun meant. Just as he was about to question Su Yun, he was stopped by Chan Beiyuan. Chan Beiyuan said to the local, "You do need to give us a reason. We need to judge if we can reduce your punishment based on your situation. This is a national treasure. Although you didn't know, you are already involved in the felony of stealing a national treasure." Although Chan Beiyuan's words were a little harsh, the local didn't try to avoid it. He listened to Chan Beiyuan seriously. The local knew that Chan Beiyuan was a leader, so there must be a reason behind his words. He wouldn't lie to him. "I understand." The local nodded. "I understand what you mean. I also know. I have to take responsibility for my mistakes. I'm sorry. I really didn't know that I would implicate you so seriously." Duan Mingming's blood rushed to his head. "Captain Chen. Give him a chance. He really didn't know what was inside the box. Everything was planned by me. I was the one who used him. It really has nothing to do with him." "Shut up. You don't have the right to speak on this matter," Chen Beiyuan said with a glare. Duan Mingming looked at Chen Beiyuan in confusion. "Do you really want an innocent person to pay for my mistakes? Captain Chin, do you really think this is fair?" "Of course it's not fair. But all this unfairness started because of you," Chen Beiyuan reprimanded. "But I've already confessed. I've already brought you all here. Since there's no problem with the beast head, you can just punish me." Duan Mingming was already in tears. The local was much calmer than before. He looked at Duan Mingming. "Little Duan, I know you are a good kid, but you have to take responsibility for your foolish actions. Whether or not I knew this thing was valuable, I shouldn't have agreed to do it. I was wrong. Su Yun said calmly, Uncle, you have a high level of self-awareness. I admire you. I'm a person who made mistakes. I'm not worthy of admiration. The local shook his head. Since you asked me why I did it, I'll tell you the truth. I'd like to hear the details, Su Yun said. The local elder sighed. My ancestors have been living in this place for more than 10 generations. We don't have much culture, and we don't have any ideals. Later, President Zhang of Sky Entertainment Corporation arranged for people to build a school in the center of our poor county. That was how my son got the chance to go to school. Hearing this, Su Yun was stunned. Lin Gu also looked at Su Yun with a look of surprise. This was really a bit of a coincidence. President Zhang of Sky Entertainment Group was obviously talking about Zhang Taisui. Because of Mr. Zhang's Hope School, many young people here have the opportunity to learn cultural knowledge. My son is one of the beneficiaries. The local fellow said, I told him that the opportunity to learn was not easy to come by. This was an opportunity that was exchanged with the accumulated good karma of our ancestors over several lifetimes. Therefore, he studied very seriously and finished the middle school entrance exam with full marks. At this point, he choked up. But my family didn't have any money. Hope School was compulsory. If he wanted to go to high school, he would have to spend money. He also had to live on campus. He had to go to the high school in the city. The local fellow continued, We had no choice but to give up. But I didn't expect the principal of the high school in the city to find out about this. He personally came to my house and said that it would be a pity if he didn't go to school with his good grades. This is a good principal. Our Huaxia needs a principal like this, not those scumbag principals who use the school quota to secretly collect high prices and red packets. Su Yun silently praised the principal in his heart. Yes, he really is a good principal. He said that the government would take care of my son's tuition, accommodation, and living expenses. In fact, I later found out that all of this was paid for by the principal with his own money. The local fellow sighed. Good people live a peaceful life. Chan Beiyuan had actually heard of this story, but he didn't understand what this story had to do with his promise to Duan Mingming to steal the beast's head. My son didn't disappoint the principal. He got into the best university in our province with excellent grades. The local fellow said, the principal also said that if he wasn't born here, but in a big city like Yanjing, he could have gone straight to Yanjing University. I really didn't even dare to think about it. Yanjing University. Isn't that the best university in the world? In the eyes of an ignorant farmer, Yanjing University was really the best university in the world. This was because they didn't know what Harvard University was, or what MIT was, or what Berkeley was, or what Stanford was, or what Oxford and Cambridge were. They only knew Yanjing University. Huaqing University. That was the highest institution of learning for God-level existences. Therefore, he was extremely proud of his son. Is he still in school now? Su Yun asked. The local fellow nodded. He's in his 4th year. He's about to graduate. At this point, the local fellow actually cried. Just as everyone was puzzled, the local fellow told them the reason why he wanted the 10,000 yuan. He's about to graduate, but he told me, he's sick. The local fellow helplessly lowered his head. Kidney failure. He said that to cure it, it would require at least 100,000 yuan. 100,000 yuan. He earned some money during his school days, but he used it to pay for his school fees and living expenses. With my situation, where can I give him 100,000 yuan? Everyone fell into silence. Later, he said that he didn't want treatment. The local fellow said, but if he doesn't get treatment, he'll die. If he dies, wouldn't he have studied in this university for nothing? Everything that his principal had done for him would be wasted. Because he hasn't made any contributions to the country or society. If he dies, he'll be letting down all the people who helped him in this world. He can't die. At the very least, he has to give back to society for their help and the country's education before he can die. Every one of these words was like a sharp knife. Su Yun felt a stabbing pain in his heart. This was really a great tragedy. The country's medical system was really pitiful. Was it really that difficult to completely change the problem of medical treatment? Should people who didn't have money die of illness? He still remembered that before the National Assembly in 2010, a drug dealer named Zhong Liqing had said that if the medical reform was successful, it would be a tragedy for the entire country. Why hasn't this idiot been executed yet? There was also the former spokesperson of the Ministry of Education, the current president of the Chinese Literature Publishing House, Wang Shuming. He said that education was like buying clothes. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. He said that the media calling for aid for poor children was ignorant. He said that if you don't have money, don't accept higher education. Was this kind of person worthy of being the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education? He wasn't. Medical treatment and education had to be equal. Other inequalities didn't matter, but medical treatment and education had to be equal. If the country wanted to progress, if the human society wanted to progress, education had to be equal. Education was the future of the country. Whether it was the country or an individual, public schools shouldn't earn money from education. Medical treatment was the basic guarantee of human rights. If the American Empire didn't slander Hua Xia for having no human rights, medical treatment should be liberalized. People couldn't die of illness because they didn't have money for treatment. That would be the greatest tragedy of human civilization. The local fellow spoke again. I told him that he couldn't give up on treatment. I would think of a way. My son told me that he needed at least 20,000 yuan to not give up on treatment. He worked part-time and earned 10,000 yuan for education and training. He still needed another 10,000 yuan. I said I would think of a way. Then, I came across this opportunity, so I deserve to die. Speaking up to this point, the fellow sobbed again. He wasn't crying for himself. He was crying because he couldn't raise money for his son's treatment. If his son died, he would really let down those who had helped him. This was the reason why he was crying so hard. I really don't know what I should do. The local fellow said, I was blinded by greed. I let down my son. I let down those who had helped him. Su Yun nodded. All right, I know your situation. Leave your son's illness to me. You don't have to worry about the money. The local fellow was dumbfounded. He thought he had heard wrongly. As for your crime, I'll leave it to Captain Chen to decide. This situation is special. I believe Captain Chen will definitely give a reasonable punishment. After Su Yun said that, he looked at Chen Beiyuan and smiled. Chapter 3304. When Chen Beiyuan heard Su Yun's words, he nodded seriously. Indeed, a mistake is a mistake. If you're guilty, you have to bear the consequences. No one can shirk their responsibility, right? The local fellow lowered his head. He had already made up his mind. He would accept any punishment. If they really paid to treat his son's illness, he would not have any complaints even if he was sentenced to death. This was the only thing he cared about in this world. If this could be resolved, he would have nothing to worry about. He would not have any scruples at all. If my crime can offset some of Xiao Duan's crimes, please punish me severely. The local fellow suddenly made such a request. This stunned Duan Mingming. What are you trying to do? You're still so young. You can't ruin your life because of some mistakes. The local fellow said, I'm already so old. Besides, I've already raised my son. If his illness can be cured and he doesn't die, he can repay the country and everyone who has helped him. Then I don't mind dying. When an old local farmer said that, Duan Mingming really wanted to find a hole to crawl into. He felt so ashamed. The local fellow was not joking when he said that. He looked at Chen Beiyuan very seriously and said, Xiao Duan is a good comrade. For the sake of border security, he has fought many criminals. He's a talent nurtured by the country. If he's really ruined, wouldn't it be a waste of the country's resources? So let's just put all the blame on me. At this moment, everyone fell silent. Pairs of eyes fell on Duan Mingming. Duan Mingming could no longer hold back his tears. He was sobbing uncontrollably. He really did not expect the other party to say something like that. Su Yun glanced at Duan Mingming. What are you thinking now? Think about it slowly. Remember how you feel at this moment. This was probably the harshest punishment for Duan Mingming. The local fellow looked at Chan Beiyuan seriously. Captain Chen, do you think I'll be sentenced to death in this situation? If that's the case, can I give my son a call? I'd like to explain it to him. This matter of yours is too serious, Chen Beiyuan said. Chen Beiyuan said, if I were to sentence you to death, I would be letting you off too easily. Your situation is too unique. The local villager's expression changed immediately. He didn't expect the situation to be so serious. Chan Beiyuan thought for a moment. How about this? You'll be punished to work in the kitchen of the anti-drug brigade. He was going to cook for his brothers in the anti-narcotics brigade. As for the salary, there are 400 to 500 people in the anti-drug brigade. If each of them pays 10 yuan a month, you can get 4,000 to 5,000 yuan a month. Do you think that's appropriate? The local villagers were confused and did not understand what this meant. You still don't understand? Su Yun laughed. If you ask me, Captain Chen is too stingy. A pack of cigarettes now costs more than $10. Everyone has to fork out at least $20 a month, right? Good. 20 it is. Chan Beiyuan said, I'll make the decision for them. Duan Mingming's tears stopped. He finally understood what Su Yun and Chan Beiyuan meant. The guilt and gratitude in his heart grew stronger. The locals also understood that they were not punishing him at all, but helping him. Where was he supposed to put his old face now? He had already made a mistake, but they were still treating him so well. They even arranged a good job for him and wanted him to treat his son's illness. This was all thanks to the good karma his ancestors had accumulated. He really didn't know what to say. I'll admit to all my crimes. Duan Mingming also said, I was wrong, Captain Chen. I hope you can punish me severely. I want to punish you severely. I can't wait to shoot you. Chen Beiyuan said, but that's letting you off too easily. Duan Mingming said, I'll accept any punishment. Then get the hell back to the front lines. Atone for your crimes with good deeds. I'll remember everything you've done. If you make another mistake, I'll deal with you as well. Chen Beiyuan said, but don't think that I'll erase all your crimes. It's impossible to erase them. You took 1,000,000 yuan from a drug dealer and even tried to steal a national treasure. These are all crimes punishable by death. But I'll remember them all. If you want to atone for these crimes, you'll have to perform a special meritorious service and sacrifice yourself on the front lines. Then, I'll suppress all these things for you. I won't let your family know. I'll only let your family know about your heroic deeds. Chan Beiyuan's emotions were stirred. Duan Mingming was in tears from his words. He could no longer raise his head. You're a grown man. Don't F***king cry in front of me. This is just my opinion, Chen Beiyuan said. After all, I don't have the final say in the matter of the animal head. Even if they bring you back and execute you, I can't say anything. Clearly, Chan Beiyuan had thrown this difficult problem to Su Yun. Su Yun smiled. Captain Chen, he's your man. You have the final say. I have no objections. Bro, are we letting this guy off so easily? Lin Gu said, this guy's life is too good. Just because of this, it wouldn't be enough even if he were to be executed 100 times. Shooting him would be a waste of the country's bullets. It's not worth it. Su Yun said, if he can use his life to make a great contribution to the anti-drug industry, that would be considered atonement. It would be much better than shooting him. The reason why Su Yun and Chen Beiyuan would do this was very simple. Although Duan Mingming had made a mistake, he was still a very good person. He was not an evil person. The stupid things he did were all due to his own impulsiveness. Duan Mingming was still a kind person. It could be seen from this incident. That was why Su Yun felt that he could turn a blind eye to Duan Mingming. That was why Chen Beiyuan felt that it would be a pity to destroy him. Perhaps by giving him such a chance, although it was his fault for failing to supervise Duan Mingming, although it was his responsibility and his disrespect for the law, Duan Mingming might change because of this incident. He might do something big and make a great contribution to the anti-drug industry. This was really making up for his mistakes. In the end, all of this was because Duan Mingming was not an evil person. That was why they chose to believe him. No matter what, this is Captain Chen's business. It's none of our business. Su Yun grinned. Besides, you have already broken the bones in one of his hands. What else do you want? This punishment is more than enough. Duan Mingming only had a bitter smile on his face. He had already forgotten the pain in his hand. The shock in his heart was what he felt the most at that moment. Duan Mingming, did you hear that clearly? This opportunity is not given to you for free. Chen Beiyuan said, I'm not the only one who knows about the mistakes you have made. Everyone here knows about it. The entire anti-drug team knows about it. It's up to you whether you can make a difference or not. I swear, my life belongs to the anti-drug team from now on. I'm a member of the anti-drug team when I'm alive. I'll be a ghost of the anti-drug team when I die. Duan Mingming said seriously, even if I die here, my soul will continue to exist for the anti-drug industry at the border. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let those drug traffickers off. All right, Chen Beiyuan said, with your words, I'll vouch for you today. The local fellow was also fired up when he heard that. Tears filled his eyes. I believe that little Duan will be an excellent and great anti-drug warrior. I have to thank you for all of this. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had so much inspiration today. As Duan Mingming spoke, he knelt in front of the local fellow and kowtowed deeply. You are my second parent. I'll take care of you in the future. I'll treat my brother's illness. I'll pay for his school fees. Tell my brother to focus on his studies. Focus on his studies. The local fellow excitedly helped Duan Mingming up. All right. I'll tell him. I'll tell him to focus on his studies. He's studying biochemistry. His purpose of studying is to research better anti-drug drugs. Seeing how excited everyone was, Lin Gu patted his head and said to Su Yun, Bro, this is such a positive thing. We should let the media report it. I think that's fine. You tell the media now. Su Yun said, but even if the media comes, do you think Captain Chen will let the media take the video out? Lin Gu laughed dryly. That might not be possible. Chapter 33:05. With the beast's head in hand, nothing else mattered to Su Yun. How Chen Beiyuan dealt with Duan Mingming was his own business. Su Yun couldn't be bothered to care so much. However, he wasn't joking about the promise he made to the local. Uncle, just give me your son's information and you don't have to worry about the rest, Su Yun said. I'll arrange for someone to pick him up tonight and treat him as soon as possible. How can I thank you? How about this? I'll give you an IOU. You write it. I don't know how to write, so I'll give you my thumbprint. I'll definitely return the money to you. The local didn't dare to accept Su Yun's kind arrangement just like that. He was really flattered. Su Yun smiled. Uncle, don't think too much about this. That won't do. If I don't remember this kindness, am I still human? The local shook his head. I have to give you my thumbprint. Su Yun said, I'll treat your son. I don't need to spend my own money. Don't worry about this. Just tell me his current information. The local was still hesitant. Chen Beiyuan said, he asked you to tell him, so just tell him. Don't hesitate. If he regrets it, he'll be delaying your son's treatment. Don't be silly. He may be young, but he's very capable. He has more connections than I do. The local was embarrassed to tell Su Yun about his son's current situation. He hadn't graduated yet, so he must be in the school dormitory at night. He also told Su Yun his phone number and so on. Su Yun immediately dialed Wan Guangxiao's number and told Wan Guangxiao about the situation. Wan Guangxiao frowned. He also remembered the local fellow. He remembered that the first time he went to the border anti-drug brigade, it was the local fellow who made him a special dish and brought it to him. He also talked about his son. Wan Guangxiao definitely had to take care of this matter. He told Su Yun to focus on the beast head and left the rest to him. Wan Guangxiao made a call to the local military region and quickly contacted his old friend. He asked him to arrange a few specialists in the military hospital to treat him. Since Wan Guangxiao had already spoken, no one dared to disrespect him. That night, the military arranged for a car to pick up Wang Yao from school. The school was still in an uproar because of this matter. Everyone said that Wang Yao had been chosen by the army and was brought back to do research. The local fellow also received a call from his son soon after. He said that someone from the local military hospital had contacted him and arranged a car to pick him up for treatment. Because the people from the military hospital said that this matter was because of his father, the kid definitely did not believe it. He called his father to confirm it. His father was just an old farmer without many connections. How could he possibly make such a big deal out of it? After hearing what his son said, the local fellow wanted to kneel down to Su Yun again. Su Yun had a headache. He helped the local fellow up again and said, "If you're still so polite, I won't help you with this matter." The local fellow did not dare to be polite anymore. "You're really something, kid. You have a lot of connections." Chan Beiyuan said, "One phone call and you even alerted the military hospital. That's really something." As he said that, Chan Beiyuan patted the local fellow's shoulder. "See? I didn't say anything wrong. He has a lot of connections. If he wants to take care of your matter, don't worry. He will definitely make sure your son is fine." "I really don't know what to say." The local fellow sighed and shook his head. "I really don't know what kind of good karma I've accumulated." Su Yun said to the local fellow, "Every word and action of yours is accumulating good karma. You're doing a lot of good karma by cultivating such a good seedling for the country." The local fellow was stunned for a moment. "I don't need you to give me an IOU. I just hope that you can continue to educate your son so that he can use what he has learned on the right path after he graduates." Su Yun said, "Our country has never lacked geniuses in biochemistry. However, many of them have not been used on the right path. I hope that he won't go astray." The local fellow nodded vigorously. "He won't go astray. What he has learned can only be used to contribute to the country. There are good and bad sides to everything. Some people are good at chemistry and invent things for the country. Some people are good at chemistry but end up making gutter oil for black-hearted businessmen." Su Yun said, "There are two sides to everything, good and bad. I believe that the child you have educated will definitely walk on the good side. If he dares to do things that harm others, I will beat him to death." The local fellow's eyes immediately widened. If he has a future, it's all because of the help of kind-hearted people in society. If he does things that harm society, he will not be tolerated by the heavens. I will definitely beat him to death with my own hands. Even if I have to go to jail and be sentenced to death, I will definitely beat him to death with my own hands. As long as he dares to do those inhumane things. Su Yun smiled. If all the parents in the world could have half the awareness of this local fellow, the world would become a better place. "All right, it's getting late. We won't disturb your rest." Chen Beiyuan said, "We're going back." "Then, I'll go and cook for you tomorrow?" The local fellow was still concerned about this matter. "Captain Chen, I have no problem if you want me to cook. It's fine even if you don't pay me. But if you really pay me that much, I really don't dare to go. I want to discuss with you whether I can do it voluntarily. If I have something to do and don't have the time, I can also apply for leave or something." Chen Beiyuan was amused by the local fellow's honesty. "Of course you can apply for leave. You can apply for leave even if you don't do it voluntarily. As for the salary, it's not up to you. It's up to me and our soldiers. Then I won't go. It's too expensive. The local fellow shook his head. You think you can't go just because you say so? Don't forget that you are guilty. I'm punishing you by making you cook. It's also a form of monitoring and reform through labor. Do you understand? Chen Beiyuan was really spouting nonsense with a straight face. The local fellow was stunned. He thought to himself, this is called reform through labor? In the end, the guilty local fellow could only agree to Chen Beiyuan's request and agree to the salary. Also, you don't have to come to work this week. Chen Beiyuan said, there's something more important for you to do this week. What is it? The local fellow was a little confused. Pack up tomorrow and go to the military hospital. Take good care of your son. Don't let him lose the opportunity to serve the country and society in the future. Chen Beiyuan said, if you can't even handle this, don't come to work. Do you understand? The local fellow nodded vigorously. The gratitude in his heart could no longer be described with words. All right, it's getting late. Everyone, get ready to return to the base. Chen Beiyuan said loudly, all of you will remember the mistakes that Duan Mingming has made today. In your heart, understand? Yes. Understood. If he performs well in the future, you don't have to mention this again. If he doesn't perform well, you all have to remember this. Chen Beiyuan said, no one can forgive him. Absolutely not. Duan Mingming gave a standard salute. I, Duan Mingming, swear today that my life belongs to the anti-drug brigade. My life can only be left for the anti-drug work at the border. My life doesn't belong to me. It belongs to every soldier in the anti-drug brigade. My life is to be sacrificed for the cause of anti-drug work. That's not bad at all. Lin Gu pursed his lips and said to Su Yun, Bro, are we staying here for the night and leaving early tomorrow morning? We'll leave early tomorrow morning. Su Yun nodded. Lin Gu said, are we going to look for them directly? Shouldn't we call them first to inform them? There's no need. If we call them now, they'll only worry about us. Su Yun said, tomorrow morning, we'll get Captain Chen to arrange for someone to drive us there. It won't be too late to call them when we reach the city. Bro, you're really patient, Lin Gu said in admiration. He could not learn Su Yun's patience. Chapter 33:06. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly. It was a cloudless day. Under the bright morning sun, Chen Beiyuan led his brothers from the anti-drug brigade to send off Su Yun and Lin Gu. He arranged for a car to send them off. Huazi didn't say anything to Su Yun. He just patted him on the shoulder. He still had high expectations for Su Yun. Your brother is the person I admire the most in my life. Huazi said to Su Yun, you are still young. You have a lot of time to do your own things. As your brother, I will say something here. Be careful in whatever you do in the future. Don't let those bad guys take advantage of you. I know, Brother Huazi. Su Yun smiled slightly. I will be careful. I will remember your words. Su Yun pointed to his heart. This was his respect for Huazi. Although both of them knew that Huazi didn't have the qualifications to educate Su Yun, what Huazi said was his own heartfelt words. This was all his concern for Su Yun. Huazi sent Su Yun to the car with satisfaction. The car drove away for a long time, but Huazi was still standing there waving his hand. Duan Mingming walked behind Huazi and whispered in his ear, Brother Huazi, they are gone. Let's go back. Little Duan. Huazi turned around and glanced at Duan Mingming. Do you know, from the first day you came here, I saw his shadow in you. I always believed that you could also become that kind of person. I believe that you can do it. Duan Mingming lowered his head awkwardly. I am too far away from him. Whether it is strength, wisdom, or awareness, I am too far away. Brother Huazi, don't laugh at me. I really can't take it. Who said you can't take it? If you ask me, you are qualified. You are not 30 yet. Why are you in such a hurry? Huazi said, take it slow. Duan Mingming looked up at the sun in the east. In a month, he would be 30. He didn't know if a man could be considered standing at 30. Brother Huazi, tell me, why do people say that men have to stand up at 30? Duan Mingming said, am I standing up or not? Who said that a man must be 30? Huazi said, stand at 30, many uncultured people misunderstand this. Stand at 30, ha ha ha, this is what the old master said. Duan Mingming was startled. Old master? The old master said, when I was 15, I was determined to learn. When I was 30, I stood up. When I was 40, I was not confused. When I was 50, I knew my destiny. When I was 60, I was obedient. When I was 70, I followed my heart. Ever since Huazi retired from the front lines, he often read books. Moreover, he especially liked to read ancient books. He felt that those were the essence of the ancient summary. Especially this Analects of Confucius, it was too incisive. Every word was incisive. Old Master said that he stood up at 30, but he didn't say that anyone had to stand up at 30. Huazi said, what's more, even an accomplished man like the old master dares to say that he stood up at 30. How many people can achieve what the old master has achieved? Who still had the right to say that they could stand at 30? No one is worthy. Duan Mingming was startled. Thinking carefully, Huazi's words made sense. What kind of figure was Confucius? No matter which country, which scholar, which expert, which professor chose the most influential 100 people in the world, the old master would always be in the top 5. If someone ranked him in the top 5, then he was definitely a fake scholar. He was someone who relied on scams to make a living. The founder of the Confucian school of thought. The world's most famous cultural figure. Hua Xia's eternal saint. He was the greatest thinker and educator in China's history. He was the symbol of Hua Xia culture. He was the one who set the rules for the behavior of the Hua Xia people for 2,000 years. His thoughts and teachings were the ideology and official philosophy of ancient society for a long time. Not to mention ancient times, even in modern times, a child's first lesson in school was to pay respects to Confucius. Not only was Confucius popular in the East, but he was also highly respected in the West. He advocated benevolence and emphasized interpersonal harmony supported by the system of rites and music. He valued harmony. This was also the idea of building a harmonious society in modern times. It could even be said that if humans wanted to survive in the 21st century, they had to draw on the wisdom of Confucius from 2,000 years ago. This was not bragging. Such a big figure like him said that he stood up at 30. Now, some people felt that they stood up at 30 just because they had some small achievements. Wasn't this nonsense? Compared to the old master, it was amazing to stand up at 300. Moreover, who could live for 300 years? That is to say, we can't stand up in this lifetime? Duan Mingming was obviously very puzzled. Huazi shook his head. Of course not. I just want to tell you that the old master's so-called standing up at 30 is not referring to a one-sided career or achievement. He said standing up at 30 is for everyone to stand up for themselves. Myself? That's right. If you want to stand up for yourself, then you have to have your own knowledge reserves and an attitude of continuous learning. This is the source of your competitiveness and progress. Huazi said, you have to have the courage and determination to face the unknown. Life needs to be stable, calm, and belief coexist. You have to have a group of friends who can share weal and woe with you. This is your eternal wealth. You have to have a kind quality. Even if we face the cold and dark world every day, our hearts will always maintain warmth and hope. Duan Mingming understood a little. He nodded. I know. The so-called standing up at 30 is to give yourself a clear direction of development in life. Know the direction, know the responsibility, and realize it with a down-to-earth attitude. That's right. How you want to establish yourself is up to you, not up to others. Huazi said, "The so-called standing in the eyes of others may not be the standing in your heart at all. And those who like to use this to educate others often do not stand up for themselves at all. Those who can stand up for themselves will never use this to educate others, because those who can do this will find that they can never do it. They are all inadequate. So they feel that they are not qualified to say this." Duan Mingming nodded. He was no longer confused about why he had achieved nothing at 30 years old. He was no longer doubting his own life, because before, he had always lived a life that was controlled by his parents. Even if his parents did not control him in reality, he was still controlled psychologically. He committed the deepest stain in his life for his parents' so-called standing up at 30 years old. In fact, he did not need those hypocritical things to prove himself. He only needed to prove himself. He did not need to be himself for anyone, not even his parents. He only needed to be himself, and that was standing up for himself. "Brother Huazi, thank you," Duan Mingming said. "I didn't expect you to give me such a profound education." "What kind of education is this?" Huazi said, "I just had time and read a few more books. Compared to you, I am still far behind. You should read a few more books when you have time in the future. Reading books is very easy for people to improve." "Yes, I will." Duan Mingming nodded vigorously. At this time, the car that sent Su Yun and Lin Gu away had completely disappeared from Huazi's sight. Huazi pointed at the disappearing car and said, "You have to believe in yourself. Believe that you can also become that kind of person." "Yes, I will work hard to become that kind of person." Duan Mingming said, "It was he who let me know what is righteousness. It was he who let me know what is kindness. It was he who let me know what is helping when I see injustice on the road. Even if it was a person who met by chance, he would still help." "There is one more thing that you may not know," Huazi said. "The Hope School that our hometown son went to was built by his godfather. Senior Chief Wan told the old captain about this. I accidentally heard it." Duan Mingming was so surprised that he could not close his mouth. Perhaps in life, there were indeed many fates, but these fates did not need to be exposed. Su Yun didn't expose this matter because he really didn't want this local fellow to feel that he owed him too much. This was because the feeling of owing someone too many favors was even more uncomfortable than owing someone a lot of money. This was something that anyone who had owed someone a favor knew. "Let's go. You still have a lot to learn. Do well." Huazi patted Duan Mingming's shoulder heavily. Chapter 3307. Su Yun and Lin Gu were sent to the busiest transportation hub in Nanyun in a car arranged by the Anti-Narcotics Brigade. When they were about to reach the city, Su Yun began to wonder if he should contact Xia Qiuyu in advance and ask where the two of them were. After picking them up, he left. Xia Qiuyu had been waiting for this call ever since she landed. Other than eating and sleeping, Xia Qiuyu had been holding her phone. Yang Ya's persuasion was useless. Although Yang Ya was worried about them, after seeing Xia Qiuyu's state, she didn't dare to make Xia Qiuyu feel worried. She didn't want Xia Qiuyu to feel worse. Therefore, Yang Ya kept persuading Xia Qiuyu not to worry. In order to distract Xia Qiuyu, Yang Ya even signed up for a local tour group to distract Xia Qiuyu. Because of this, Xia Qiuyu and Yang Ya had a fight. Xia Qiuyu couldn't control her emotions at that time. "You still have the mood to play? Don't you know Su Yun and the other situation? Their life and death are unknown. The beast's head is also missing. You still have the mood to join a tour group?" Xia Qiuyu asked in disbelief. Yang Ya was confused and felt wronged. "I just want you to not be so depressed. I don't mean anything else. How can you think of me like this?" "You don't mean anything else?" Xia Qiuyu's tone was still full of doubt. "What were you thinking when you signed up for the tour group? What did you want to play? What did you want to eat? I really want to ask you, where did your mood come from? Do you really think I'm in the mood? I'm not in the mood either." Yongya was anxious when she heard this. I saw that your emotions were unstable, so I wanted you to relax. That's all. If you want to misunderstand me, then I'll apologize to you. Is that okay? But don't think of me as that kind of person. You want me to relax. Xia Qiuyu sneered. Why would I want to relax? Su Yun and the pigeon are fighting for the beast's head from the golden triangle. You want me to go and have fun? You are really unreasonable. Yongya's good intentions were treated as ill intent, and she could no longer suppress the anger in her heart. You only think about your own feelings. Have you ever considered my feelings? If it wasn't for Su Yun, I would still be a prostitute. Do you think I'm not worried about him? Xia Qiuyu was shocked by Yongya's sudden anger. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. I know you look down on me from the bottom of your heart. You think I'm that kind of woman. But I hope you respect me. Because I've never done anything wrong to you. Yongya continued, I'm just thanking Su Yun and you for taking care of me, but that doesn't mean you can look down on me because of that. I'm not looking down on you. Xia Qiuyu shook her head. Only then did she realize that she had been too emotional. You're not looking down on me? Hee hee. Then why did you yell at me like that? Yongya said, what you say is actually different from what you think. You don't have to deny it. I don't mean to blame you. If you really treated me as a normal friend, you wouldn't have said what you did just now. I'm not saying this because of your past identity or because of what you've done. I'm only saying this because I'm worried about Su Yun. Xia Qiuyu said, I'm not in the mood, do you understand? I said I'm not in the mood. I'm not attacking you personally. If you feel inferior because of what you've done, that's your own problem. Don't blame it on me. I don't mean to discriminate. I'll say it one last time. I'm not looking down on you. I just don't understand why you're still in the mood to sign up for a tour group. Yongya was silent for a while. If I say it's because of gratitude, would you believe me? Yongya suddenly said. Xia Qiuyu was stunned. After thinking for a while, Xia Qiuyu decided to tell the truth. She shook her head and said, I don't understand why you're repaying me. You've done me a favor. Yongya said, I didn't dare to say those words to you. I know you're a good person, but I can't accept your attitude of doubting me. I'm not doubting. No, you are. Yongya interrupted Xia Qiuyu's explanation. The help you and Su Yun gave me is the warmest help I've ever received in my life. I'll never forget that. Xia Qiuyu lowered her head and said nothing. Ever since we came here, your mood has been very bad. I'm really worried about you. Yongya said, I'm worried from the bottom of my heart. I'm not pretending. I hope you can believe me. I believe you. Xia Qiuyu nodded. I did lose control of my emotions just now. I hope you can forgive me. It's fine. Yongya shook her head. I won't blame you. You helped me when I was in trouble, so I hope I can help you when you're in trouble. This is just a misunderstanding. But I really don't have the mood to go with the tour group. Xia Qiuyu looked at Yongya seriously. I can't distract myself. There's only one thing on my mind right now. I can't control it. Yongya smiled. I didn't think it through enough. I don't blame you for this. I didn't understand your good intentions. I'm sorry. Xia Qiuyu said calmly, if only we communicated properly before. It's all because we didn't communicate properly. Actually, I still hope you can distract yourself, Yongya said. Of course, the choice is yours. If you don't like it, I won't force you to go. Of course I believe in your good intentions. Xia Qiuyu nodded, but I really don't want to go. Okay, then we won't go. But you don't have to worry about Su Yun and the rest. I believe they'll return safely. Yongya said, God has eyes. He won't let good people suffer. Trust me, really. Xia Qiuyu had lived abroad since she was young, so she didn't have much faith in God. Even in the West where God was popular, she wasn't fooled into believing in God. If there really was a God, a Buddha, and a bodhisattva, why didn't those evil people die? Why didn't those heroes save others when they sacrificed themselves? That was why Xia Qiuyu didn't believe in the so-called God that could protect them. This place is so close to the South Sea. Guanyin Bodhisattva is also close to them. She will definitely protect them. Yang Ye continued praying. Xia Qiuyu was stunned. Although she grew up in the West, she still knew some legends about Hua Xia. Isn't Guanyin Bodhisattva's place at Mount Putuo? This isn't close. Isn't it Guanyin Bodhisattva from the South Sea? Yang Ye laughed dryly. The Guanyin Bodhisattva from the South Sea is so big. According to Buddhism, during the Tang dynasty, there was a Yin monk who came to Mount Putuo. He witnessed Guanyin Bodhisattva's appearance and gave her a 7-colored gem. That's why it's called the Guanyin Holy Land. Xia Qiuyu was quite knowledgeable. In the 12th year of the Tang dynasty, the monk Hui Yi received the Guanyin Bodhisattva from Mount Wutai. When he was returning to his country, he couldn't enter Mount Putuo due to the wind. He stayed at Mount Putuo and returned to Ankayuan Temple. Since the Northern Song dynasty, the belief of Guanyin in Mount Putuo has been popular. The number of temples has increased, and monks have gathered there. That's why Guanyin Bodhisattva from the South Sea referred to the East Sea today, not the South Sea here. Yang Ye nodded in realization. No wonder. If Guanyin Bodhisattva really lives in the South Sea today, those clowns causing trouble in the South Sea would have been punished by him. Yes. Xia Qiuyu smiled. After her attention was diverted, she was no longer frowning. Yang Ye was very certain, whether Guanyin Bodhisattva lives in the East Sea or the South Sea, he will protect Su Yun. Of course. Xia Qiuyu nodded. Right, let's go pray to Guanyin Bodhisattva. Yang Ye suddenly suggested this idea because it could calm a person's heart if they placed their hopes on it. Xia Qiuyu needed this kind of peace. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.